Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome in.
Hi everyone,
Hope everyone's doing
hope
well
all's
today.
good.
And we're doing a podcast today, guys. Oh my god. Can you believe it? It's crazy.
Crazy, first podcast like ever.
It's your first podcast, right?
It is my first podcast, yeah.
Hell yeah. This is going to be my second podcast, but I'm really excited for this one specifically because we're going to be mainly talking about Digimon stuff. And we decided that Digimon Story Time Stranger was a great first topic. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Time Stranger was such a trip. Like, it's literally one of the best things to happen for me in the entire fandom, the franchise itself. It was like part of a huge revival of Digimon in the West.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. It was like the second coming of Digimon.
It really was. It really kicked off or at least the announcement of it kicked off like a golden age.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing like all over Twitter, all over TikTok, all over YouTube, but just people talking about it, and it was really awesome because it was dead like a year prior. There was nothing about Digimon. You had to actively look for it.
Yeah, it was all like the shadow of Survive, because Survive dropped and it dropped well, I think. But I think the fandom were really mixed on what Survive was supposed to be. So they all held out hope, and then Time Stranger was just like the trailer was dropped at a PlayStation event, I remember, and it was incredible to have Digimon up there in the big lights. It wasn't a Bandai Direct. It wasn't like a tweet. It wasn't like an announcement email. Just actual PlayStation Direct.
We got it on the big stage like it deserved.
So cool.
But anyway, if you guys don't already know us, which I'm sure a lot of you already know, but just for the people who are listening that might not know, I am DJ Trues. I love Digimon. We all love Digimon, and I thought this was a really fun idea, so I hit up Hazard here to join me on this adventure, and I think it'll be a fun time. So, yeah. Also, the music you heard before we started the podcast was an intro I did that is basically a cover of the Biggest Dreamer intro from Digimon Tamers. So, hope you enjoyed that. And, yeah.
And I'm DigitalHazard. I've been streaming Digimon for a few years now, maybe 4 or 5 years, but been a fan since I remember coming home from school and seeing it on good old CITV here in the UK back in '99, and sort of try my best to stick with the fandom for as long as possible, stick with the franchise, and just enjoy the roller coaster that has been Digimon for the past, 25, 30 years?
Yeah, damn, you're close to that. But yeah,
it's been like the biggest part of my sort of my hobby life, I think, forever. I think
the longest hobby. But yeah, we're excited to bring you this because we got lots of Digimon to talk about. Not even just this, in the future too. We'll probably be talking about other games, specific games. We'll probably be talking about the franchise and other aspects, with the V-Pets, maybe the anime, the movies. So there's more to look forward to, but this is a great first start, I think. So we got plenty to talk about with this game. It's so much. We have 20 things written down.
I mean, my first playthrough of Time Stranger, I think I spent about 80 something hours playing it. That was obviously going through slowly, talking about things, looking at things, and just fandom and over every little detail I could find, because there was so many little details.
Right, yeah, I remember when we first dropped into the main city of the Digimon area.
Iliad.
Central Town, right?
Yes, yeah.
So when we first got in there, I did an hour of just looking at things and seeing what the Digimon were doing and seeing which ones were hanging out with who and looking at the tops of buildings, looking up at the skybox, looking down over here. I was just enamored with everything.
Yeah, I spoiled that because I went in with the beta, the demo they released, which was again phenomenal to see. And obviously you got to experience like the intro. Was it the intro? I think you got to experience walking around Central Town, and just I spent so long like pointing as, oh, there's Fanbimon, there's Monodramon, there's Guilmon, and he stood there with Renamon, and just like going over and just like every like slightly like which wasn't just like a produced game, it was like a completely and utterly like or like organic creation. There's so many things you could tell the writers and the makers knew exactly what they wanted to do with it, and it was like calling back to so many things.
Yeah, like it was like an amusement park is what I like to say. Like you were just fawning at all the cool attractions and like, oh my god, point at this, point at this, point at that.
I was a kid in a sweet shop. I was so far off just having like just completely breaking down in just like the overwhelmed nature of how many cool things there were.
Yeah, this was like the Digimon game Digimon fans have been waiting for forever. So it was so worth the wait.
Absolutely. It was just, even then the wait was fantastic because Bandai, they did so much, or Bamco even, did so much marketing for the game. Like we had tweets, we had videos, we had like just so much marketing merchandise and so much effort from them to really build it up and to show everyone that they meant business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was so cool. Like, just it was just an overwhelming amount of information. Like every week it was something new, or even every other day sometimes. Like I was like, again, really? Oh my god, thank you, but you can slow down.
And when it came to like, I remember the first trailer, obviously, my first reaction was I saw Locomon, like one of my favorite Digivolution lines, the little train guy, and you had the deep voice. I can't remember exactly what you said, but my first reaction was, Locomon! It's Locomon! As he was going up the thing, and like, because you had the big nuke thing that pops off, and I think my initial reaction with that was like, oh dear, that looks rough. Because it was just obviously just Bamco explosion, could have been anything really. But then Locomon sealed it. It's still great, I find, that like the first Digimon we saw of Time Stranger was this silly little train.
It was funny because you would pick up on the train. It was it took me till Taitamon's arms came through, I think, when I was like, oh, there it is. You know, because they were like showing his arms breaking through the warp or whatever, the digital gate.
I was so surprised to see him, because obviously we'd heard like it was gonna be something about the Olympus 12 and Iliad. We heard that for a few, like, I think it might have even been Habu who spoke about that initially, like years ago when it was first like announced.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh, how's it gonna go? But obviously then we saw like the Titans come in. It's like, oh, they are really good. Like initially we thought it'd be something silly, like it still involved the Royal Knights and like they'd be fighting it, but no, they went like the complete like they all the way in elbow deep on Iliad and the Olympus guys.
Yeah, I really like seeing the Titans. They're like such a nice like rival group, and they did really well with making them very intimidating for a while. I was like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's really nice to see like a bad guy franchise, a bad guy like movement of Digimon who weren't made up of like all these super jacked megas. It was just like there was like one jacked mega, and the rest of them were like either like Champions Ultimate, and it was just like it was nice to see such an imposing force from something that wasn't just like sub-god level Digimon.
Yeah, it wasn't just like a small group, it was a collective, really, you know? Yeah, it definitely made it more unique than having to fight the 4 main baddies or the 8 main baddies or whatever the number may be.
Yeah.
But yeah, releasing them from their timeline bullshit was really cool too to each of the members. And like seeing the bad ending and then seeing the good ending once you know. I thought that was a really neat way to do things.
It was like a really interesting way, the way they developed the plot, the way it walked through, because going off the previous story franchise and how they dealt with their own games and how like Cyber Sleuth and like going back to the original story games on DS and how they developed the story. So seeing like this really dynamic tale from Bamco was really interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know what else. Like another thing I want to briefly talk about is how goddamn beautiful the aesthetic was, like throughout the entire game. It was so good.
Oh man, So pretty. Like going from like the depths of like some dank, horrid sewers to like going to these mountaintops and these flying islands was just it was so pretty.
And it's still wild to think that this game hasn't even been out a year, too. It came out October 2025, right?
It's like what's that? Like 7, 8 months?
Yeah, not even a year, dude. And it feels like so long ago, like it's a distant memory.
It feels like it does. It does seriously feel like it was like the peak of the Digimon like franchise in video games, and yeah, you're right. Like literally 8 months, I think.
It's so
That's
nostalgic.
crazy.
It's nostalgic thinking back to it. Yeah, it's been just not even a year. But it was such a good time.
Man.
It brought so much hope for us, and now the fandom's thriving. Like, there's so many things getting announced outside of Time Stranger. Like, we got the new anime, we got new card game mobile app, we got Digimon Up. Oh my
There's
god.
so much going on now. It's unreal. It's nice to see because after like I wouldn't call it was sort of a drought. We had like a massive time span where there was just like nothing really on the cards for Digimon. And then we had the card game because like Cross Wars and Appmon, they did pretty well. Cross Wars was like heavy for merchandise and such, and the anime was good, but the dub wasn't. Well, I'll be honest.
Mm.
But then like there was this like drought and then seeing it all bounce back and seeing how much we have of everything, and seeing how much like we hope Bandai value the IP and hope they understand how much we value it.
Yeah, like they had a moment there, like you said, it was just a lull of nothing, but I think it was that time they were like cooking, they're just cooking everything still. We just had no idea.
even even to the point where I remember seeing people, myself included, honestly, to self-report a little bit, looking at like the Bandai, the Bamco, like financial reports every quarter to see if there was any mention of Digimon, and then we'd see like Digimon Project, this and that, and then we'd peel all this insane information from this, basically a financial report of like how things are doing, what the investors are wanting, that sort of thing, and we go crazy thinking like this is that, this means we're getting something here, when like in actual fact like none of it meant much like that at all.
Mm-hmm. Desperation in the fandom leads to shit like that, though. So
It really does.
I mean, what can you say, though? I mean, we got it now, and everyone's happy. Well, I'm sure most people are happy with the final release. It's like, I'm sure people have problems with it, but we'll get into that, like, the bad things here soon.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a perfect game, honestly, but it was what we needed. That's basically right. Like, it's a 10 out of 10 for me in that sense, but it's not a 10 out of 10 full game experience,
I think like if we boiled it down to nitty gritty, we could find things, but I'm quite infatuated with the game overall.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anybody can do that to anything, but yeah, there were some things that stuck out to me that bothered me, but we can get into that later when we're talking about other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I have written down here is one of the first things. Well, I know we talked about it a bit already, but our initial feelings about its lead up to its release and the game itself. I know we're just enamored, and oh my god, like the honeymoon period hasn't gone away. I feel it still feels like fuck, I could still play this and have a grand old time,
The level of marketing we saw from Bamco for this game, like initially when we knew about Time Stranger, we knew it was the next story game, and we thought it was going to get the same sort of treatment as like what Cybersleuth got, which is like maybe a little trailer here, maybe a spot on like a I don't know, like a release show here or a direct or something. But then they were tweeting, and it's like it almost took over. No, I think it did. Like we typically see it with things like Elden Ring and Ace Combat and like big anime titles like One Piece and everything on the Bamco pages. But like it flat took over the Bandai Namco social media feeds for like a good few months. Everything they were tweeting was like pictures of the game cases and the information, released information, and then we had like the fully recorded and individually like world edited trailer videos of all these new and old Digimon. I think the first one, if memory serves, was Medieval Galamon.
Yeah,
and like
I remember that.
Even Medieval Galamon was like such like a brain explosion of like holy moly, that's medieval Galamon. He's like, not only is he like a connection to the Witchlini, not only is he a connection to the Vortex Warriors, which we were just hearing about and knowing about in like part of Witchlini and part of Liberator. Yeah, it was like such this massive thing just to see him being the front and center of the game, even if he didn't have a massive role, if at all, really, in the game itself.
I liked him so much that I used him in the final battle.
Oh, I see. I love his design because I'm a big Galamon fan, as it is, if you couldn't tell by the name. But like medieval Galamon is like, I don't know what it's like, the huge like long battle axe type thing. I don't know if it's like a double halberd or if it's a warhammer or whatever it's called exactly. But like, I love his design, and seeing him front and center the first release was just incredible.
I agree. That was such a cool like first Digimon to show. Like, here you go. Here's something fucking awesome that you've never seen in a game yet. But yeah, it's cool seeing all those connective threads, like you were mentioning. Like, there's some to Liberator, some to Witchlini, there's some to, like, it's so cool. They're giving us a whole fucking like hodgepodge of fucking information in one. That's what I like. I like seeing all that connective stuff.
Yeah, there was so much. They were doing, I'd say, these videos like every other week. I think it was actually once every 2 weeks they were, and like some of them weren't massive Digimon. Sometimes you'd load in, and it's like, oh, here's a like, how long was it, about 10 seconds? Here's a 10-second animation spot on like Etamon, and it's like, it's like, holy shit, it's Etamon. And they'd have the Japanese one, have the English one, they'd have like the release date, like some attacks, some animations to it, and it was like this fully fledged, and we're seeing it all again now with the release on Switch 2, which is, again, is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, the Switch 2 is getting a release soon, and the Switch 1, which I think I might triple dip for. Because I have no self-control.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the marketing alone. I'd love to know how much money they spent on just the marketing for the actual the thing.
Well, I'm sure on social media it doesn't cost as much, but still, yeah.
Well, I'm more thinking in the case of the recordings. So all the Digimon had like the individual summoning screens. They had the animation. So there's still a fair amount, because the animation and the recording for that one, it's not like something they can just give the intern. It's something I think they would have put a fair amount of information into, and I imagine they may have, obviously all the accounts they have on like social medias are all like the full business accounts. A lot of them may have had like reach, and obviously these ads appeared on like banners for the websites. They appeared in the sidewalls of websites. They were everywhere, and obviously I think for those like big PlayStation Directs, it costs a lot of money to have your game in as one of the 10 or so at the big PlayStation event. I'm sure it's
that
like a
is
couple
true.
of million for those sort of things.
That is true. I wasn't thinking about the PlayStation event. That probably just took a lot to
but like from what I gather, it's paid off.
Yeah, probably. What was I gonna say? I remember, was this before release? I think it was, but they were like sharing like behind the scenes videos of like them making like the models and them showing like different things like that.
I think like the Shadow Puppets one, I think they were like either during or slightly afterwards, because we hadn't seen those.
Oh no, not that one. I'm talking about like when they were literally showing how they were making the models look all muscular and crazy. You know how they showed the updates? Yes.
Yeah, that would have been well before, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that stuff and being immediately like, oh man, this is gonna be eye candy the game, but you know what I mean? There's just so much fucking muscles, veins, and metal pieces that look shiny, and
and I think for me that one, if not Medieval Galamon, one of the biggest one of the biggest reveals of the entire thing. I remember I was at work when I saw the tweets for Murray being in Time Stranger.
Oh my god!
And my head was like, what does this mean? And then we saw the model, and the model was like a younger version of it. I'm like, what does this mean based on what we know of Murray? And I'm like, my head was spinning. I'm like, how does this tie in? How does this work? What's going on? Like, it was crazy.
It was a mind fuck.
Like a tweet.
Yeah, it was a mind fuck. I was like so praying she would make it in. I was like, they can't get rid of Maria. She's now a staple. Like, she's been in what? Well, aside from Time Stranger before then, she was in what, 4 games?
Yeah, because she was in Redigitize to start, then Decode, and then Next Order, and then
Yeah,
Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is over your fifth game. So I think this pretty much solidifies her as like a mainstay at this point for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I was sort of like when I noticed she wasn't in Survive, I was like, okay, I sort of get why not, but like also I still want them to try work it out how. But no, I get it.
That would have been cool if there was like an ancient Mirai that was like one of those Miko wearing, you know, because it fits the
Yeah.
vibe of Survive. But oh well. Mirai Miko mode when Bentai.
Oh, I've scrolled back. So it was announced in February last year. So February 12th, 2025 was when the first tweets came out from Digimon Games channel saying, "Here's the game."
I
So
remember
it
I was a flesh tuber still. I got
like,
my video
oh.
featured on a compilation on YouTube and on that day.
Oh, amazing! I love watching those. I'm enamored by people's reactions to things. I love watching the ones with like Smash characters were released and everything.
Oh yeah, fan reactions are always a good time because it's just feel good energy right there.
I remember seeing the characters and they announced like the names and like there was that one guy called Karemi and like it took me a good like few minutes until someone else like pointed out like wait a minute that's Kyoko's name. By the way, spoilers in this podcast.
Oh yeah,
we're
there's
going all
spoilers. Spoilers for sure, guys.
But no, just the marketing, the sheer volume of like what they were investing, like well before like we like I was mad for. I know a lot of people sort of questioned like the level of like collected editions and the availability of things, and there was some ups and ahs about like the cost of everything. But from my from my humble point of view, I had been waiting to throw money at the Digimon franchise to show Bandai, look, we want this. Let me pay you for this. So I was perfectly happy to pay what they did.
You're like, I got the Digimon fund set aside just for this reason. the Digi Hedge fund.
But no, it obviously, yeah. But no, the release was fantastic, and seeing them like announce the things and seeing how even the first big boss of the game was like Parrotmon. Even that felt fantastic because it was such a massive callback to like the OG Digimon thing with Greymon and Parrotmon in the what's it called? That wasn't a Diaper, was it? No, because the Diaper was the big thing with Venom Earthmon. The August 1st thing, I think.
It was a Hill of Light, right?
That's the one, yeah. Yeah, the thing on August 1st.
Yeah, that was such. Yeah, I liked how big they made him too. He was a ginormous guy.
Oh, he's huge. I loved how. Get on.
And then he was also featured at the end, like towards the end of the game, where you're going through that corrupted holy area that Junimon HM sends you to, and there's the fucking Parrotmon shotgun the shit out of the angels in the background. That shit was crazy. I don't know if you remember that.
I think so. Yeah, I think a little bit of it.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite parts too. I just like seeing how big they were. All right.
I think as well, like.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
If we stay on this thing too, I'm trying to work out like how what part of this subject sticks in this slot, or can I revisit it? Like, can I just splurge? I don't know. We'll carry on. What's next?
Okay, so next up, after the initial things, I said we go to talk more about the graphics in depth, like how good it looks, and I thought it was like, I'm sure everybody's gonna say this, but it's the best looking Digimon game to ever exist.
100%. Now, whether I think some people may have thought the models were reused or like amped up, like hyped up or anything, like they're reworked. I think they all look fantastic. I was 100% in love with every model they did. I think if the only thing I'll keep the downsides to the arse end of each section, but like the graphics were great. The overall graphics were wonderful. Everything was really pretty. It was light on my system, I will say. So I don't have a fantastic PC system, so being able to run the game with OBS and stream it with literally no issues in my entire 18 episode session. I streamed it every day from release day for 18 days straight for about 4 to 5 hours a day. For 80 hours. I'm proud of this. It doesn't sound healthy, but I was happy. And like I had no issues. And no, there was no graphical issues, there was no crashes, there was a few sorts of like things would clip here and there, or like a monster wouldn't spawn in, or the occasional T-pose. But I think in terms of like game development, there's so many combinations of like CPUs, graphics cards, internet connections, and all sorts of things that can affect how games run. I think it worked absolutely fine.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the performance too. I was able to run it on high quality, but there was some moments where it would kind of drop in FPS to like 20, 25 because so many things happening. But I thought it was smooth and everything looked crisp. A lot of the areas were just filled with like nice like details, and the texture work was great. Like the way the water looked, the way the greenery looked, the skyboxes, the everything. Like I was studying it all because I'm a big like skybox and texture freak when it comes to games. I don't know, it's just like looked pretty to me, and I was like looking at everything, seeing the details. I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Like holy shit.
There was so much like in the background as well. So you'd be standing there, and you'd see like a Beamon just like flutter on screen. It would just land on something. It'd do its thing. It'd fly off again, and you wouldn't see the Beamon maybe again for like 4-5 minutes as it completed its cycle or its animation circle around the area. But it just helped it feel like a little bit more organic, which is funny for a digital monster game.
Yeah. The behaviors of everything, all the mods were cool.
Yeah, they weren't just like NPCs stood there just like doing nothing. I mean, there were a few that were stood there doing nothing, but like they were conversating with people, they were like arguing or fighting with people, and you could always interact with them and speak to them.
Yeah, and then sometimes you pass through the story a little more, they would do different things throughout the story.
Absolutely. Like obviously there's parts of the game where you revisit areas after events and everything, and speaking to the same NPCs after like a traumatic event, and they have like a different personality, different lines of dialogue as they react to the world.
God, those graphics are so nice. I'm just thinking about them still. The best area is the Abyss area. That's all I gotta say.
The Abyss area was wonderful. It was like seeing the massive. It felt like a Dark Souls area. Like it was just massive and dark and foreboding, and everything was just like this cosmic like issue.
Oh, that's the dark area.
Oh, which one was the abyssal?
The Abyss area is the water.
Oh, the water, but with the purple water, was it?
Well,
where everything was bad.
Well, no, Abyss is just meaning like abyssal water, I guess.
Oh yeah. Do you mean like the underwater section or the overwater section?
Just everything in general in that area, like even the bad timeline and the good timeline. Like I liked it all in there because I'm a big like into tropical vibes, and I don't know, it just really feels nice. But yeah, the other area where you were mentioning dark area, I thought was sick too. Felt like you said Dark Souls, very gloomy and gothic and broken down.
Yeah. Working up to like the big castle and seeing like Plutomon sat in the chair and his big throne, just like holy shit, this feels amazing.
Fuck yeah. Each area was all like, I was like thinking to myself, I wonder what kind of biomes are gonna add. Like before we started, I knew about I think we knew about 3, right? It was the grass, the abyss, and the city.
Yeah, and Factorial Town, I think we knew about a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then we didn't know about the fire, ice, dark area, I think. So about half. But yeah, I was like wondering which ones, what other ones they're gonna add. I was thinking in my head, like to the past story games. Like, I know we needed a dark area, which we got. I was happy about that.
But then even then, every like area the front of it. So we knew about the Factorial area, but we only saw like the cover of it. We didn't see the depths of it, and we had like another 4 or 5 areas behind every other one. So like the forest area, we had like the initial like foresty area, then we had like the trees and the flying islands. There was this huge like Junomon's throne thing, that big holy area. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the holy area was neat. I'm kind of sad that they didn't make it a little more like a place you could explore rather than a place you have to escape.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we'll talk about that more later. That's a criticism for later.
Yeah. I think the only downside I'd have, because there's not really a particular section, but if we go for graphics and we sort of expand graphics to like how the game was made, I guess. The English voice cast for the Digimon themselves, the humans, fantastic. I didn't have an issue with any of the human voices. They were all wonderful, and the main cast for the Digimon as well. But the generic cast for the Digimon Live, the Digimon Live voices, for the English voices, I felt were misguided. Yeah, 100%. Like hearing Diaboromon like be all sort of wrecker. It's like, what is that? Some of them were like so like I know there's mods. There's mods to cover these voices with other voices, which I understand, I can respect entirely. Because some of them were like, I can only imagine the voice actor came in and they said, here's your lines, here's the name or a picture of your creature, go for it, and they just batch record these lines. Because I don't think like I'm struggling to think of any voices that weren't main cast Digimon that suited. And I can't think of any that I
remember
like.
For Wagamon made you laugh your ass off during stream when he died. He's like, how could you, when he died or something? I was like, what the hell?
Even like Lilithmon's voice, like I was so like hyped to hear it, and then she's like this little sort of like British sounding girl.
It's like,
yeah, Phantom Pain. It's like you're like, whoa, no, I want someone who sounds like she smokes 40 a day. I want the husky voice. Like, what is this?
They wanted to be like, hey,
like
handsome.
I wanted something like someone who sounds like, for lack of a better term, middle-aged sort of thing. It was just such a strange one to go, and like, I just can't even like. The monsters all had like really proper voices, and I don't know. It just felt like that part of it wasn't really didn't have enough attention to it, which I appreciate in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's a very, very small thing, but like it was a big thing for me because like I just didn't enjoy any of them.
Omnimon being like, I like it when he wins. I like it.
Like we always joke that he's John Digimon, but holy shit, did he just sound like a John?
Yeah.
Like, he was just like the guy who like you just know. He's like just a local fella. He's like, hi there, how are you? What the fuck?
Yeah, it definitely felt weird at times.
But like that's like the only real thing I have in terms of like how the game was put together, in terms of like the graphics, the resources, the world building, the visuals. Literally the only thing is just how it sounded. And even then, like the main cast, as I say, so like Junimon, Zombie Plutomon, Volcanusmon, even Bacchus. Like when I saw Bacchusmon is the one who has the really big mouth on his belly and the little tiny head. When I saw him, and I saw him first back on the old Olympus stuff, I thought, wow, he looks ridiculous. He's gonna sound like Majin Buu or something. And then he starts speaking. He has this like really nice, like well-spoken voice, and he's just really calm and collected, and like holy shit. And I ended up like really, really liking him because of how well he was written and how well he was voiced. Like when he has his sort of second coming, he has his redemption arc for himself. And like he just sounds so sincere, and I'm watching his character. I'm watching this like huge, like pink, macious blob guy just speaking about real shit, and you're like, wow,
that's some real shit right there. Yeah, I like Bacchus too. He was really cool. I was expecting something silly to come out of his voice, but nah, it was all like, I'm Bacchusmon. Hello, I have a drinking problem I need to fix. Oh man.
Oh no! I did like how each sort of Ilias, like as if you had the seven deadly sins. Like the Ilias guys all had like the seven deadly personal issues.
You're right.
They all
Yeah.
had to sort of like overcome to sort of deal with their issues and deal with their problems.
Yeah. Envy for fucking Juno. Probably.
Yep. So Juno had her envious thing. Apolluma and Dynamite had the fact that they just basically fell out with each other, and they had like little childish spats that was being like twisted. But like this can fall into the story section actually, so we'll do this later.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
But
It's
yeah.
hard to figure out where to slot shit. We just start going, you know?
It's so easy to tangent onto like and just branch out onto different topics.
One last thing about the
but-
graphics section, I will say, like, in terms of like glitches and bugs and anything like that, performance issues, there was literally almost none for me. Like, there was the lag, like I mentioned, in like higher density areas with lots of mons, like in Central Town. But I didn't have anything really bad happen. I had a couple crashes only when the DLC dropped, but beforehand is when like
Yeah.
I was able to play through the game, no issues whatsoever. There was nothing that stood out to me like, what the hell, what's going on there, you know?
Yeah, so I was hit with the DLC issue. So, like, my DLC didn't open. The first wave, I saw loads of like people quick fixing it, and people saying, "I'll delete this, reinstall that, install from here." And I tried a few of them, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. Like, it dropped on a really awkward night for me, I think. So I was like, I'll just wait 2 days. And literally, I think it took them 2 days and it was fixed. So like, good on them for that.
I think I was lucky and I didn't have that problem, but I think I remember you and a couple others having it. I was like, oh man. I think one of our fellow streamer friends, Made of Fire, also had that happen.
Yeah, I know a handful of people who had it. It didn't affect consoles. It was a PC thing. I imagine it was either a Nvidia thing or a driver thing or something. Oh, actually, I remember. I remember from release night as well. The game was 20 or so minutes late, maybe up to 45 minutes. Because I only know because Bandai Namco US popped into Khan's chat. And they were like, yeah, sorry, we fucked up the certificate. We're working on it. And it basically got delayed from release on Steam, where I think consoles are having it like a few hours later, but the Steam release, as I say, got lagged behind because of some paperwork and red tape.
Well, it did get to us eventually, huh?
Yeah, and then when it did, like, geez, it was an event. Geez, I remember.
Refresh on Steam. Just waiting.
I think the refresh party was fantastic because you had so many people, so many streamers like sat there, and you had Bandai Namco jumping between streamers, jumping between people, information like flying between, like, oh, so and so's playing it, so and so's done this, it's worked, oh, it's doing this, and it's just like this wild like this riot almost, this online riot of confusion, as everyone was like, where's the game? Where is it?
It's like that one meme from the what's the Steve Carell? It's happening, guys, get in the position.
Oh, and then like sitting down and just waiting for it to like download and everything, and just like it's like, and then it happens on your screen, and you're like, holy shit, it's real, guys, the game is real, it's here, we're here now. And you sat there playing it, it's like, this is real, this is where we are. And obviously for us though, I was like, it was like 2 a.m. for me. I think by the time I finished my first session.
We were blinking with one eye at a time. It's real good.
I think because I kept telling myself, because obviously you could play the demo and then carry the demo over, and I think a lot of people chose to carry on from from where they were at the demo, but I think I chose to restart fresh entirely. Did I? I can't remember now. I think I did. Yeah,
I did too.
Yeah, just in case there was something else, just in case there was something they added or changed. And although I don't think there was, I still enjoyed starting fresh.
All right, well, I have our next topic here. It is the story, so we can get more into that. So, warning to you guys in chat, we're probably going to get really into the weeds with the story, so there's massive spoilers ahead. I know we've already spoiled a few things, but it's going to get real in depth. So, right away, the story was, like, kind of, sort of predictable. but it was cool because the way they told it and the little twists and turns that happened, where I was like, okay, I can get with this, you know.
I think the story for me was really good because if I play a game like this, I don't expect like phenomenally deep plot lines. I don't expect like a whole whodunit case. Like it's not Persona, it's not Danganronpa. It's Digimon. We're here to like raise dinosaurs and then fight bigger dinosaurs. So it was like, but then like when we had the big twist, the big thing about Kanan or Dan, whoever you're playing as. Which, by the way, the return of being able to choose your character between like male and female, or character A and character B as it was, that was phenomenal. The way it didn't impact the game and the way you still had the other person like there was good, but it made me like demonize Dan a little bit because of how the story progresses.
Oh, you played as Kanan, huh?
I did, yes. I played as the chick because she was cute and I felt like she was fun. I was kind of disappointed how like the character you played as wasn't voiced, but then they were voiced if you weren't playing as them.
Yeah,
Just
that
like
was
you
a little
played the other one.
strange.
But yeah, so I felt like there were some dialogue areas I think you could have had the voice lines that they would have said over the thing. Like, there's plenty of opportunity for it.
Maybe they just
but
wanted us
aside-
to insert ourselves in that position. Maybe, you know, that kind
Yeah.
of deal.
It's the silent protag imprinting thing where they want you to give them a voice in your head, so they don't be given one themselves to let you do it. I don't know. I wasn't a really huge fan of it. But no, so the game it started off really crazy because you had like you met the girl Inori.
Yeah,
was her name.
Inori.
You met her and she was like, what was her name when you first met? She was like, "Girl, you must protect" or something.
Yeah. That trope that they always do in Japanese games, dude. Before you know their name, they're that person. Who is this?
And then so you meet her, you eventually find that if you fight Metal Greymon, the big blue Metal Greymon, the virus one, and then Omnimon turns up, and it's just like, "Hi, how are you?" And then he buggers off just as quick. I don't think that's ever explained as to why he's just there. Like, I know he's around.
I think it's
but, like, in
inferred
that
later when
particular area.
it's inferred later. I think when we finally meet the servers themselves, where like Yggdrasil's helping out Iliad.
Yeah, I remember now.
I mean, not
Oh,
Iliad, rather,
the-
what's his fucking... I can't remember their name. Homeros, sorry.
Oh, Homeros, Kunlun, and Yggdrasil. Was her name just straight Yggdrasil?
Yeah.
Homeros was the sleepy one. Yeah, and then Iggy.
Yeah,
She
so
was a
they're
grumpy
basically
one,
coming
Kunlun.
in to help, basically, you know? So I think that's what it was implying. But at the time, we didn't want to know what the fuck he was doing. He just comes through and says, "Bye." Like, all right, did you just want to show off Omnimon for whatever reason?
I think he was literally like the tagging in of like, "Oh, just in case you don't remember, this is a Digimon game. Here's Mr. Digimon
He's Mr. John Digimon.
with his silly Supreme Cannon."
Supreme Cannon.
No, but then we learned about the Titans. We learned about the war between the Olympus Iliads and the Titans, and wanting to like reclaim things, and then how Euragomon was the reincarnation of Chronomon. I think that's quite early. We hear that name, which is fantastic because like we haven't seen Chronomon since Dawn Dusk, the DS games. What was he in?
Yeah, he was in Dawn and
DS?
Dusk and World DS.
Yeah, I can't remember. Obviously, yeah, I can't remember if he was in those games to start with. I think he was.
In Lost Evolution, I think you can digivolve to him, but he's not really... I don't think he was part of the story that much.
No, they were part of. Yeah, that was a sequel to those games. And then, so you fight the Titans. It's sort of like a to and fro, where like the Titans, because it's really nice to see like you have the central town, and then it gets taken over. You have the invasion of Titans, and we lose. Everyone has to go back, and then the timey-wimey stuff starts, and you end up like being pushed back and forth like 8 years.
Yeah. It got kind of wild sometimes with traveling back to the past and into the present and like trying to figure out like the threads. It got a little bit murky sometimes, but like the overall like arc for me of what was going on was like obvious enough. But what really ties everything together was all the little mini stories in between everything, and like the seeing the personalities of each Olympus 12 member, seeing the side of the Titans and why they're fighting after you finally get to know them more, and like it just so much, but it's so cool, like seeing them interact and having their own politics, having their own wars, having their own, you know.
Yeah, and the development of the human side as well, because you had like quite a few human characters like thrust upon us quite quickly with like Hiroko, the streamer girl. She was really fun. I felt like she was like she was almost like the sort of the human break of everything, because it was quite a serious like storyline. So having her come in and say, like, oh, she wanted to stream things with like a cult Tokyo TV thing, and then having, was it her? No, it wasn't her dad. That Kosuke guy, the PI investigator.
Oh, that's.
What is it? What he was there?
There was Inori's dad.
That was Inori's dad. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And then I loved it when they hacked. I always love it when Digimon get involved with the real world. But when they had the big Titan invasion, where like you had Machine Dron like stomping down the street, and just like all these like bugs flying through the air, and just like Deltamon tearing shit up. That was just so cool. I love it when it crosses over into that sort of thing.
Yeah, it was a little Digimon apocalypse real quick. And then they had to close off that section of the city completely with a wall. That shit was like a contained destruction zone. Like, it reminded me like of Attack on Titan a little bit, with just like having a closed off city that's just fucked but filled with giant fucking creatures, you know.
Yeah, the wall was crazy because it was like a genuinely huge like wall to be built around these things. And even then, I think that was containing the Shinjuku incident, which I think was the Great Fire of Shinjuku or something. I remember it became a bit of a meme. Like, how many times they remind you about the fire of Shinjuku?
My meme is anomalous phenomenon. How many times did they say anomalous phenomenon?
I always love it whenever like each Digimon game tries to introduce the concept of Digimon to the player and to like the in-world cats in a different way. Like we had them as just like digital life forms in Cyber Sleuth, in bloody Survive. They were Kemonogami, I think.
Yeah, Kemonogami.
Really, and then we had the anomalous phenomenon, which do every time.
Yeah, the Kemonogami thing was neat for me. I thought it turned a little bit of the lore on its head though, because spirit stuff, you know. It wasn't technically digital.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that sort of that direction.
But yeah. Anyway, we could do a Survive podcast later.
I think we could quite easily do a podcast on like every game. There's enough for each one to talk about, I think, and even then, like every anime.
I'm almost done with my second run of this game, a Time Stranger. I'm on the Mega Run, and I was planning on doing Survive after to do my third playthrough of it, so that could be a fun thing to talk about later. But it's probably been a while for you, though, huh?
I've only played through it once so far. I've played through my base playthrough. I've done the DLC, but I've not polished off everything else yet, which I know I need to go back and do. I would love to, I might go back and do a New Game Plus, but like, I just felt so fulfilled. Like when I played the game the first time around, like everything was just so nice. It's like everything was just so great. I just didn't feel like I needed to revisit it anytime soon. But obviously, even then, it's like 8 months away. It was released, so like I might revisit it on maybe in October. I'll do a fresh playthrough on stream or something.
The year anniversary of it.
Yeah, the 1 year. Unless the DLC gets released before then, or whatever's happening with that.
Yeah, if you play it weekly instead of daily like before, you might be able to fucking finish it before the expansion. If it comes out first half of 2027 at least.
Yeah. But then we had all the thing with Chronomon and like bits of Chronomon being an Agemon, and then actually like Kanan and Dan or whoever you're playing as was also Agemon, but from a different timeline.
Yeah, that shit was a little mindfucking for me.
I'm not a massive fan of like the timey-wimey stuff, because to me it feels like cheap storytelling. Because it's like, oh, we need to antagonize the situation a little bit. We need to add like some mystery. We could write a good backstory, or we could do this, or there could just be something from another world. It just feels like it's just like a quick sort of, we'll just other dimension and pass on.
Yeah, it can be a little cheap if they're just not like, I don't know, like it's just there could be more detail to everything, but yeah, the time stuff is like a quick little boop. That's what it was.
And it made traversing the world later on really awkward. Because like
yeah.
when you had like towards the end game, when you had like access to the entire world, it wasn't location based, it was location and time based. So you had to be in this certain area at this certain time to action this one event, but then if you went there at another time or you exited something another time or something, it just got confusing as to where you need to be or what you need to do. And you're always running the risk of like, oh, if I go too far this way, will I activate the next story section?
It's a little segmented strangely. Like the segmenting kind of messed with me because I had missed a lot of side quests in the beginning because I couldn't go back until later, you know, and that kind of irked me a little with the story progress because I was on ultimate the whole time until the very last section, and then I could become mega. And that was like a weird little thing for me.
Yeah, I think a big part of why my first playthrough took so long was because like I was bouncing off every wall because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because I know these sort of games, if you miss like one or two things, you can't catch them later on. Cyberpunk did the same thing with the coins, I think, where like there were certain coins would spawn on like the other side of the map, like another place you would never go to at a particular time in between two chapters.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know they were there, you'd never look there.
Yeah, with that, it's a little different, I think, but the Time Stranger's way of doing it, it was weird, I think. It just felt strange.
Yeah. It felt strange. I sort of understand why they were going for this, like, timey-wimey stuff.
It is called Time Stranger, so...
But, I mean, yeah. Like, I love that as well, because like, when we heard about the Time Stranger thing, it's like, oh, like, so, like, in what sense? Are we the stranger to time? Are we is time getting stranger? Like what does this mean? And then even after the entire game, I sat there and like, I don't understand. Like, I understand why it can be called Time Stranger, but I don't get why. Like, I don't get the joke.
It was just like a mess sometimes. Like Asia 1 messed up so many fucking times that it just, you know, that's the whole thing basically. Asia 1 just couldn't fucking get things right.
And then at one point there was a mecha fight where like suddenly we had like Grace Novamon, who on his own, Grace Novamon is this fantastical galaxy-sized creature. No, sorry, it was Justimon we're playing at, not Justimon. Jupitermon is what I'm looking for. Grace Novamon was there, but he was doing cosmic things and getting his place. And we were playing as Jupitermon, Wrath mode, I think, the big colossal one, fighting the huge mecha Ava type thing. Which, when I first saw it, I was like, "That's really cool," but like, why is it here? What is this?
It felt like a nod to Evangelion because it was in a fucking similar like hangar, like cargo bay fucking thing. Same fucking bridge looking right at its face, like kind of deal. It just screamed that, like, you know what I mean?
Like at what point did the Japanese government sign off to, instead of just buying more tanks to shoot the Digimon with, we'll build like a 20-story tall humanoid mech with a really weird face, and that'll be our defense against these Digimon. It's like, cool, but like, is it that much of a problem at the moment? It just felt like this massive response to a relatively like manageable problem.
Yeah, I don't know. They got desperate, I think. Like everything that like it's just with all the chaos happening out of nowhere and at once, I'm sure it shocked them to their core, and they were just like, "All right, let's build the death machine." You know, so it's like I think it was out of a fear response, obviously.
Like, I get it, but I'd never build a Gundam to fight Machine Digimon. I just build a Machine Digimon.
Yeah. Just learn it from the Digimon themselves on how to combat them, basically.
I did like the development of characters. Like, we saw Asuna, I think. We saw her. She was quite anti-Digimon because, like, Digimon either... Was it? I can't remember, the game, like, heavily insinuated that characters were killed by Digimon. But then, like, they sort of backpedaled a little bit and said, like, oh, they were removed from service or they were put in a coma or something. And as soon, obviously, then she met her little Black Gatomon friend, who then grew up to be her real Starmon friend, which was a wonderful combination.
Oh yeah, we had two baddies together. That shit was fucking badass.
There's another one, seeing Beetle Starmon and like Gundramon and so many of these great, fantastic Digimon who we'd want to see, we want to have seen in like 3D models for so long.
Yeah, like Gundramon specifically, I went for it real quick, and he was so shiny. Like, I was like, they polished this boy so well. Like, he's just squeaky clean. Fucking chrome motherfucker. I can put some, like, put some hydraulics on him real quick.
I loved, because I think as soon as I saw Gundramon myself, I zoomed into him as much as possible. Because I remember on Cyber Sleuth, any Digimon who had like a reflective surface had a very, very particular scene, or like at the front of a building in the reflection. Like the actual model itself was just like a reflection of like the front of like a local store or something.
Yeah.
So I was trying to work out what it was on Gundramon, but I don't think they have anything like that in this one.
Yeah, I think those back in the day were because they had to get creative with their engine they were using. So having like a little reflection of something in it makes it look more realistic. But with the graphics we have now, they can just put on a nice shiny filter without any of that, and it'll still look really nice. But I do like when developers do that, where they like even if they have the tools to make it look like that, and they still put in a little cool thing in it, you know?
Yeah.
Put some clouds, a skybox.
The time travel stuff. There's like we tried to jump back. It's the same thing. Whenever like there's an issue, whenever there's a bad event, and whenever time travel is brought up, it's like, cool, let's go back and fix this. Oh no, we made it worse. Like, how many times do we have to see this?
Yeah, it's a played out like thing, but I think they did well enough with like the micro stories within the big story with that time travel stuff. Like first you get to see the consequences of the worst timeline, then you get to see you save the timeline and get the best outcome, or like one of the better outcomes.
Yeah,
and I thought that was a
really
neat
nice
little juxtaposition to see like your growth through the story and helping others and whatnot. But like, yeah, like the whole story itself, the whole overarching thing was just a mess. But it was cool. I still enjoyed going around to the worlds and using the Digimon, but the story I wasn't super like honed in on, right? Like it was just there for me, but I liked it. It wasn't bad.
I think the game like straight baited me into thinking there'd be a happy ending for all the times we time traveled until we hit like the Bacchusmon one, where like as you go to Bacchusmon, and I think either Bacchusmon dies or something, and then you save everything, but because of the situation, like Sirenmon dies instead.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, I was quite taken aback by that, because like, I thought we were going to be saving everyone. I thought this was happy ending stuff, but it's like, no, we can still have like the sadness in the game. But it was really good.
Yeah. And
then we find out.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, to say, and then we find out the truth about what Chronomon is, because at the time, like, we think Chronomon is like this like huge godly power, and he can help us save the world, and he can help us like turn everything around, and just everything to be perfect and great again. And then we find out actually he was with the Titans, and actually he was like fighting against homeostasis, and he was just being a bit of a bad guy. And oh, by the way, you're part of him. And then he was imprisoned, and he's just like existing in this void area, and he's causing all this ruckus.
He's like basically like punished for you know what I mean. He's stuck.
It's
where
like
he's at because he did what he did.
I can't remember the name of the god who's like holding the earth or something on his back.
Oh,
or something. And it's like
fuck. Yeah, I can't remember either.
Something like it's a similar situation.
Is
to
it
that,
Atlas?
Just basically left. It might be. It might be someone like Atlas, to be honest. Where they're sort of forced into this eternal duty where they just want to be killed, but then while they're doing this, they're still doing the thing.
It is a very Greek thing because they had the Zeus' eagle eating out of the guy's fucking intestines every day, and then he regenerates, and it happens again.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And then Sisyphus, too, where he's rolling up the boulder forever on a hill.
There was loads. Yeah, the Greek mythology is all a bit self-depreciating. And then we go back and we find like, so I'm trying to think what happens after this. There's so much to try and work out because I can't remember where things happen because of the timey-wimey stuff. I'm trying to work out which order things were
I know
going
we
in.
fought like Titamon in his like super like powerful form because he got the essence of Chronomon or whatever.
Oh yeah, he
started using like fucking time stopping abilities on us and shit. So that was like getting into like the climax of the Titans versus us at the moment. And then shortly after, don't we go to like the dark area and go find Plutomon, and we come to find that something's happened to him and it's all bad. And then we start to see
zombie Plutomon.
Yeah, zombie Plutomon. That shit was wild, dude. That was one of the coolest surprises. Seeing zombie Pluto was like, holy fuck, we need more of these guys, more undead, please.
Yeah, having like zombie, I think he's like the only like zombie subtext Digimon. Yeah. Like we had Waru, and they could have made him a Waru, but no, I think zombie Pluto was fantastic.
Yeah, he looks disgusting, and his tongue's all. But yeah, it was cool seeing that, and then the like timeline switch where you get to see who was behind it, and it was fucking Cherubimon Vice. That motherfucker's still around.
Oh yeah, because he was like. Yeah, he was like one of the instigators of like just kicking things off and like sowing the seeds. At least we eventually get to get rid of him.
Yeah, I was like, this motherfucker came back from the third Digimon movie to terrorize us. Or was it Frontier? I don't know. Whatever one he came from.
He was in Frontier, and he was also in the second movie, Hurricane Touchdown.
Yeah, man, fuck him. But he's cool though. I love Big Evil Bunny. They made him very buff. Cool. Too. His arms were like fucking disgustingly ripped. And then he had his big old monster hands, and the size of them are just crazy. He's just a cool design, but yeah, that part of the story was dark, but I liked it a lot.
And I think we get brought back into the past, and we find out like we instigated the Inferno or something, because the Giant Slayer, the big mecha thing they've got going, kicks into gear, then we fight it or something. I think the big colossal punch was in the trailer. It was such a phenomenal thing because I love colossal fights in video games. And then when they put you like one of my favorite fights in a video game ever was Metal Gear Solid 4, and you get to play as Metal Gear Rex, the big mech you fight at the end of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
And you get to fight Ocelot piloting, or whatever, Liquid Ocelot, whatever, I was piloting Ray. And that single fight was like one of the coolest things. So being able to play as this enormous Jupitamon fighting the enormous Giant Slayer Digimon super weapon thing.
It was like Asura's Wrath, basically.
It really was.
Just like really over the top anime fight in space.
I think it's after that where like Inori's like swallowed by the void, and then Aegon jumps in with her, but then that turns into something else, and we're left on our own again.
She turns into the evil version of Aegis, right?
Yeah, because Aegis, I think it's like I think it's literally just called Dark Aegismon or something, and then he dives into the void.
I haven't gotten him yet. I'm still working on getting him unlocked, but he needs ridiculous stats. But yeah, he was neat. I like seeing all the forms. That's one thing we skipped over. Aegiomon's different, like 5 forms. Is it 5 forms he has? Yeah.
Oh, he's got the red, blue, green,
holy, and dark.
And yeah.
Yeah, he has a lot of fun forms, and I messed with them all, and I liked them all for different reasons. But I think the one I got the most use out of was the grass one, because he could put them to sleep.
Yes, literally, that was like the biggest one for combat, was just putting things to sleep, just to get that crit damage in.
And then the holy one for any viruses or dark types that were coming about, like just switch over to that. It was those were the 2 main ones. The metal one was expensive because like the amount of SP needed to use moves, but they looked neat. And then I haven't used the dark one. I'm sure it's pretty badass. And the regular one was
I need to go back and mop uploads. I think like I didn't mind having him in the party. I wish we could do a little bit more to customize like what he was, what he could do. I I don't know, because he felt like in the fights himself, he felt like he was a massive like crutch to most of the game. Made some fights a little easy because he had like infinite HP. So anything we'd see the bosses do that big final move like on him, it'd be nothing, no impact whatsoever.
Oh, an Digimon? I think he does die.
Yeah,
He does.
I think through my entire playthrough, I didn't have him faint once.
Oh, were you on normal difficulty?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, he passed away for me a lot.
Okay.
He would die, but like I'd pick him up. But I think he has a move where if you use it, any physical attack to him, he reflects perfectly back to you, and you'll get hurt. So I don't know if you're using that. Maybe.
I know he had the one where he like made himself the focus of aggro.
Okay. Maybe it's different in different difficulties. I don't know. I started on hard, and now I'm on mega. So
I may be misremembering, but I'm fairly certain. If not him, then I'm sure it's either him or
any of
the guest characters.
All the guest characters that came with you were invincible, yeah, but not him.
I may be thinking of that then.
Yeah, because whenever you would have like Marsmon join you, like during that arc with the Colosseum, he would not die. He would I'd always hope if they were gonna use a really powerful move, go attack Marsmon, please, or Grappliomon at the time, I guess. And whenever they would do it, it'd be like 10,000 damage, and it would do nothing.
Oh no! And then we move into like the end game where things start like resolving. We stop trying to fix shit and we just leave the timeline alone. And then we find Agumon. That's that long walk down that long white like corridor thing, which is really cool. Like I like that sort of self-reflective stuff.
Mm-hmm. It was a little bit like Erica's arc in Hacker's Memory, or Cybersooth rather, right? Or it is Hacker's Memory. Sorry.
Where we find like Agumon, he fuses with your player character. All his shadow cells, he either kills them or absorbs them or something, and then we become Jupitermon.
Yeah, that shit was sick.
That was wild. That's when we had the big mecha fight. We fight the giant slayer, we destroy that. We prevent the whole Shinjuku Inferno in the perfect timeline. We rescue Inori, which was a nice twist to everything. We managed to save everything and stop the learning of not messing with the timeline and letting things be, to stop things like messing up and stop like making all these like fake shadow Agumons.
Yeah, that was a lot of them. Like I was thinking this was back before we knew anything. I thought it was links to survive, you know, because of shadowy figures, but it didn't end up being like that exactly. One thing that we should bring up, I think, is during the fight with Chronomon and who comes through to save us when we do all of the side quests for the Royal Knights.
That was I felt like that was such a filter for players because it was such a fantastic thing. So for anyone who doesn't know, during your last fight with Chronomon, so there's your play character, your little squad Digimon, which the fight itself has some wonderful mechanics, but you start the fight off with your guys and Chronomon, this like the admin of the timeline, I think he is. This huge version of Chronomon, like Destroy Mode, I think it's called. He has like every like buff and protection the game as it is. So you fight for a while, like nothing's working. He's de-digivolving you. He's throwing things around. He's just like nuking your squad. And there's a set of side quests where you have to help the Royal Knights who are a little bit lost. Like Omnimon's trying to get everyone back together again. He's lost his squad, and they're all doing different things. You go around the world and find them, but these quests, they're all jumped on you because the way the game drops side quests on you, and sometimes side quests lead to more side quests, and it can be a bit tedious, and lots of people skip them. So when you cover all these, your reward is, instead of in the fight against Chronomon, Omegamon, or Omnimon, sorry, or whichever one you prefer, drops in, and he does like this huge cool attack. I hope you don't mind me just explaining all these away.
No, you're good. Keep going.
So Megamon pops in. He just does the 3 shots with the Supreme Cannon and just a big slash. I think it's in order, and it depletes all of Chronomon's buffs. Whereas if you did all the side quests, the entire crew, and I do mean the entire Royal Knight crew come through, even like Alphamon, is renowned as Lord of the Empty Seat. He's not normally there because he fell out with Omnimon ages ago. So he's not only part of the crew. They all come in and they have these fantastic attacks. I will say, except for Craniumon. Craniumon on his little new Enbarmon horsey thing, I felt like his attack was a little bit lackluster, because like he rides past and then he takes part in Kensaramon's like direct attack.
Yeah, two four-legged going in.
Yeah, it was so strange. But like the sound, the noise, the impact, like I think some of the noises when you hear that as things are firing, and the noise that like Alphamon's Oryukun sword made as it like tore down Chronomon's forehead. I can't begin to remake the sound with my voice, because it's this weird sort of like digital like sort of crunching sound. It's so nice.
Yeah, I remember rewatching the part of the VOD for your reaction. You were just like, oh my god. You were just like
I was having like, I was tired. I was so excited outside because I'd heard like through the whispers of people coming to streams. Oh, make sure you do all the side quests. Do all the side quests. Something cool happens if you do all the side quests. And like at the time, you're like, go on, I'll do what I want, buddy. Go away. It's fine. Then like one of my friends came in and said like, no, seriously, like do the side quest. The game doesn't tell you this. Just do the side quest. Something is worth doing it. So I was like, right, okay, fine. And I did all of them. And then like at the time, I did the thing. So all the Royal Knights turn up. And they do the same thing happens. Like the Chronomon loses all his buffs, but you see them come in. And just prior to this, sorry, you have the admins. And we don't really talk about the server admins that much. The Homeros, Yggdrasil, and Kunlun.
Yeah.
Personified by three young people, I think.
Yeah.
And Homeros is this like little sort of Lolita style like French like maid outfit, I think, with a little bonnet and everything.
Yeah.
And
she's very much like Victorian looking child.
Yeah. And she's really sleepy. I think it's because her server is unstable because of what Chronomon is doing. And they decide to let the guys from Royal Knights who are from the Yggdrasil server to come in and basically mess with nature, because I think the quote is like, someone who exists outside of nature's laws should be like reprimanded by someone else from a different something. I don't know. I can't. The exact quote doesn't make a lot of sense, but it still sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And then we have like them pop in.
I was just thinking like it was just so worth it to like do that, like without even knowing. Like I'm glad they didn't tell you, like, because having that ruined for you would suck. You know,
it was so worth it. Like I didn't realize how big it was until I watched other people play that part of the game where they hadn't done the side quests, and I saw them like just play it through, and they just had a Megamon, and they were like, "Oh, that's really cool. That's really amazing. He came in to help." I'm like, "Wow!" Like it's just there's not a lot there if you've not.
It's just a dud.
The whole thing.
It feels like just a dud. Boop. And then the second coming when they had all the Olympus 12 running with on top of what's it called?
You have all your so he digivolves your entire squad back down to babies, and then like you have, as you say, all the Olympus guys come in and like pull shifts. Yeah,
and they were riding in on what, Erismon? Is that the name?
Oh, Ceresmon. Yeah.
Ceres, yeah, Ceres.
Who's Ceresmon being there is she's Sirenmon, but like revived and suddenly like a huge demigod. That part I think was skipped over. I think it almost feels like there's a huge chunk of the Bacchusmon section like cut out of the game, because we see Sirenmon die, and then we see like her patch of grass like glow, and then suddenly Ceresmon's here.
Yeah, it would have been cool if they gave us like a couple minute cutscene of this happening, like her becoming that, but we still got to see it happening, like them coming through all badass. Yeah,
they ride in, they come and help us. We win the day. I think it's bittersweet. I think because we beat Chronomon, but then Jupitermon has to replace Chronomon as the new Keeper of Time, the new Keeper of the Digital World, which separates him from Inori.
Yeah,
So
that
like
is true.
Inori, and it's like so it was a good ending because you won, you beat the thing. Now you're in charge of things, but in the same sense, it means you now have to exist outside of things, so you can't be with the people you want. You basically fought for essentially.
Yeah, you're married to your duty now, basically, right?
And then like it's sort of like the knife is twisted further when you winning also means that everything you've done didn't happen because you basically we reset the entire timeline, and like the last cutscene is Kanan now a human or a normal person essentially, like meeting a humanified version of because it was Agumon was sort of like replacing Inori's younger brother who died in the Inferno, I think.
Yeah,
Or something.
they looked exactly the same.
Yeah, and so you reset the timeline back to there, so it's kind of nice. 'Cause it's like so everything's all nice and everything, but that means all the trials and tribulations and things you've done aren't there anymore. Which is like, I'm happy, but also like we did some cool things, but it's some of the cool things were in relation to bad things happening. So maybe it was good that they didn't happen. And it's a proper like it's one of those interpretation things where like yeah things are great now, but also like we did I don't know, it's one of those things you can sort of like
It's a give and take, you know.
yeah
I get what you mean. There's good things about what we did, and then there's a takeaway, an equivalent exchange, if you will. Full Metal Alchemist here.
it's a lot about causality of things because like during the whole thing where we were like trying to fix everything and making things like worse piece by piece, it's a case of like maybe you don't have to fix everything, maybe things need to happen sort of thing, because if you try to fix them maybe you make them worse.
Yeah, it's like fate, a big story about fate.
Yeah, and choosing like the world's like benefit over your own benefit, because obviously if Agamon chose not to do what he did, he could be with Inori and have her and have that friendship with her. But like him choosing to actually do the right thing or do what he thought was the right thing and destroy Chronomon to reset his mistakes to sort of fix the world, but then sacrificing his friendship and sacrificing everything is rough.
Yeah, he went through hundreds and hundreds of timeline switches to save her to realize this, which, you know, now that he's learned, it's like he's pretty stalwart in his resolve. Which I
His
think
growth of the game was phenomenal.
Yeah, and they chose a pretty good voice actor. I think it was Christina V. She's pretty good at voice acting, so I like a lot of her characters. She plays a Legend of Zelda character, Tulin, which I liked.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really neat story. But like, I don't know. I give the story like an 8.5 or 9 out of 10, to be honest. Like, because there's some things about it that are just like a mess, but when the payoff happens and you got all these little cool micro stories in between the main arc, it just builds up to something awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'd give it around that score for myself.
I think like the story feels like it had some really fantastic set pieces. Like the writer had these really cool ideas for he wants this to happen, they want that to happen, they want this to happen, and then the problem came when they had to join the dots. So I think it has some fantastic moments with some really cool fights, some fantastic like some like character development and everything. But then like how you push the story to get to places that with like still trying to still feel organic and make sure it feels a natural sort of path. I think that's where it started like sort of come apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was about like a third through the story to halfway probably is when it started being like, I'm confused a little now. But I mean, time stuff is always going to be confusing, of course, but It just depends on the execution, but I think they did well enough where it wasn't a complete disaster.
Yeah, I think in terms of like the sort of thematical depth in comparison to the other Digimon games we've had, I think it's definitely one of their most, maybe not as like deep as say Survive. Obviously, Survive was a light novel, so it was going to be more wordy. But still, I think it's still like one of the best. I can't point at another Digimon game that had like a directly better story in like a direct ratio, really.
And whenever I think of Digimon stuff with stories, my favorite one is always Survive. That one's really good, I think. I would consider Time Stranger and Survive up there together as like amazing storytelling that has its moments that are kind of weird, but like it's still overall enjoyable for a Digimon experience, because most Digimon games have very simple stories, you know? Get the Digis back to the town they live in, because this.
It's very much like finding an excuse to level up and defeat the bad guy by whatever means necessary.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, I'll give chat here a little bit of a chance here to speak their mind about the story if they want. If you guys want to tell me your favorite moment or your score personally on the story itself, feel free to chime in. And we'll give you guys like a 10-minute period here to gush about what you liked about it, and then after that we'll get back into some more topics.
Nice.
But yeah, overall the story for me, like I said, 8.59 out of 10, probably around there.
Definitely, I think I was a bit more infatuated because I have I'm not a great thematical thinker. I'm really easily impressed. I find really simple things cool. Like I can walk past a construction site, look at a big truck, and go, "Wow, that's amazing! It's like the coolest thing ever." So like when I play a game like this, I'm very easily just dumbfounded, just awestruck by like cool things that happen. So I would still put it in the realm of 9 point something, personally speaking. But then, like, there are some really bad movies I really enjoy. Like, I'm just taken aback by set pieces so much.
Yeah, I can understand that feeling. Like the initial, like when you're initially getting into a game and you're experiencing it firsthand in the moment, it's just like, oh, you know, and you don't get much time to really critically think about things because it's just so awe-inspiring. So I get that for sure. Like I was the same way, but in retrospect, when you think about it, you're like, you know, some of these things could have been better. But it looks like we have some people saying here, one of your favorite scenes is the opening theme, and the opening is so cool. The opening theme, the song, or are you talking about like the video? Because the trailer for it was pretty neat, where they showed the explosion going off, and then Digimon Story Time Stranger logo pops up, and then Omnimon's there, and then fucking all these moves are going on. Both. Ah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, the themes are pretty cool in the game. Like, I always hear the lullaby song when we get into the games, like opening it in general. It has that like lullaby theme. Very pretty.
Yeah. The Digimon Story games always have fantastic music, but I do think this one in particular had some really real corkers.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites was the nighttime theme where you're outside looking around with the people in suits, and it's all boom boom. It's like all bassy and sneaky sounding, and I'm like, I like that.
Although I really did enjoy the shadow puppet breakdowns.
Oh yeah, dude, that was beautiful, and I didn't realize it was all like fully like human made. I thought it was all CGI.
Yeah, when I first saw them, I thought these look really clean. I bet they're all like PNGs they've just like waved around. And then they released the making of video where they showed how all these steel puppets were made. I was like, holy shit, they're real! Which even now makes me think that they're sat somewhere in someone's office, or someone's like, they're in someone's house somewhere, I reckon. I was like, I want one of those.
Just have a puppet show with them, huh? Um, the video, because the art style's awesome. You've seen the Shadow Puppet for storytelling is sick. Yeah, it's got a nice aesthetic. It like gives like more of that ancient feeling because it's a Greek story, you know what I mean? So it had that same vibe to me, ancient stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Like, it matches like the painting on like pottery.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. This is the pottery. Like I was thinking of God of War too. Like they had a lot of that stuff. But let's see. Okay, next thing up here we're gonna talk about soon is the Digimon roster.
Oh, the roster! Holy shit!
So there's a lot to talk about there too. There's a lot of things to talk about. Like we're discussing earlier before the podcast, like what constitutes as something we can bring up that's new to the game. You know, there's brand new entire Digimon that are exclusive to this game right now, and then like maybe the card game too. But and then there's other Digimon that haven't debuted it as a 3D model ever. So there's gonna be quite a few Digimon we can talk about here.
Yeah, it was sort of difficult to decide sort of what the requirements were.
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure we'll get a lot of conversation out of a lot of the new ones and some of the ones that we were talking about, like that haven't gotten 3D models yet. One of the ones I want to talk about immediately, though, right the fuck away, is Skull Seedramon. What in the world, dude? That was one of the most out of left field fucking reveals ever for me.
Like, it's so nice to have like what our 4th or 5th Skull Digimon.
Yeah.
Like
and they're all ultimates too. It's like a weird rule they're sticking to.
I think there's the Skull Mammoth one who's a mega, but yeah, otherwise it's Skull Barrymon, Skull Greymon, Skull Beluchimon.
Mm-hmm. It's a little strange they didn't make him a mega now that I'm thinking about it. It would have been cool that he was a mega for Shark. Sharkmon?
Yeah, Sharkmon was one that I loved to design. I love like mechanicized fish Digimon.
Mm-hmm. He had his own his own anchor, didn't he?
He did. It was so cool. And then like obviously part of the storyline was he came to help because the whole like last finale like run at the end as well, which I forgot to mention, was wonderful. Where like everyone came together.
I like Sharkmon's voice actor too. He was like, "Yarr, I am Sharkmon. Now we are here with the Titans." Like he was so fucking piratey. I was like, yes. He was a douche though, a little bit of a douchebag. Who else was new? Oh, we didn't. What really pissed me off was we didn't get to see Great Grismon in the story.
No, he was sort of like sidelined. Like he existed as like an evolution, but yeah, because they sort of didn't use it. We had like Callismon. Now Callismon I loved because he was one of the Digimon that we thought was locked away forever. Because Callismon originally debuted in a really obscure Digimon manga, I think V-Tame or something, from many years ago. And we assumed that it was like locked behind like corporate red tape or like copyright licenses and stuff because he hadn't appeared anywhere, like nowhere else. So seeing him suddenly jump from this V-Tamer lockdown to this fully fledged like release was phenomenal.
Man.
But like it would have been nicer if we had Grismon or his progression to Great Grismon, because I felt like because obviously he was part of the Bearmon twins, and we had one who went like the good route, Rapidamon, then Marsmon, and then the bad route was like the Grismon. No, because they were Jumojimon, weren't they, at one point?
No, the Jumojimon brothers are different.
Were they different? I thought they were the same thing.
No, they were separate brothers. I know they were like the same dynamic, small little bro and big bro.
Yeah, so I think they were introduced around the same time, so I thought they were like part of the evolutionary stuff. But
maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong too. I don't know. I saw them as different characters, but I didn't see Bearmon going that way. I saw them going to Kumamon, not Kumamon. Sorry, a fucking what's his name? Grizzlymon, right?
Grismon, yeah.
Yeah, I was assuming they'd go.
Fantastic design.
I was assuming they would both still go Grismon, then they would start deviating once they hit like Ultimate, you know. Yeah, Kalismon was a beast though. I was like, holy shit, he's got like a fucking gun fist or whatever the fuck.
See, whenever I've seen Kalismon, as my own little headcanon, he's voiced by Pete from the Goofy series.
How's you doing?
Whenever I look at it, exactly, that's what he looks like. That's what he sounds like in my head. Because when I look at him and I hear Pete's voice, I'm like, that's him. That's what he's gonna do.
I'm Kalismon, Goofy. Oh my god!
It always tickles me. But there was. One of the biggest ones was the entire Hyokomon line. Another Digimon who was like locked away in an old game. I think Hyokomon Little
World
Chicken
DS.
Digimon. Yeah, so he started on World DS. We had Hyokomon something, then Butenmon, and then he was obviously Chronomon's original line, which was wonderful to see them up in the 3D models because there was another one that was locked away for ages.
Mm-hmm. Man, there's some that I was hoping we'd get, which would have been cool, seeing a Grimmon and X Grimmon. But who knows? Maybe we get it for expansion.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because I was always hoping for like Galactimon, but I just don't know how they'd ever work that into it. I just wanted it to work somehow. But we had some fantastic models for like Junomon, who was another Digimon who was like locked away in some old games.
Volcanus.
Volcanusmon, Bacchusmon, all these like great Digimon. Then we had the trio, the Gunjamon, Magna Kidmon, Beal Starmon.
Minerva?
The three. Yeah, Minerva.
She got put in at that was a surprise. Minerva? That was a surprise end thing for her, right? She came in at the last second.
Yes, she was a big reveal right at the end. And I'm kind of glad because like Minervamon's attacks are like they're not super serious. So I feel like if they brought it in too early, they may have deviated the Minervamon's like serious like plot relevance and sort of replaced it with like lol boobies too much. Because like all the things like Merry-Go-Round Deluxe, which by the way, quite embarrassingly, I will admit that Time Stranger was the game that made me realize that when like Japanese series use the term DX in things, it means deluxe. I didn't know that. So I always called him like Shoutmon DX. Didn't know he was called Shoutmon Deluxe.
I didn't know that either. He was always DX. You know, he was a Shoutmon Deluxe.
Yeah, and now I look at other things, like other games that use the DX like little code on like game titles and expansions. Like, oh, I just thought you would do that with words because I used to play like Monster Hunter, where like it have Monster Hunter G, and like cool, okay, I guess G's just a good letter for it.
Yeah, it just seems like a fun letter combination for some like random reason, you know. DX, that sounds cool.
Yeah. And then we had like whole like things for Chronomon, Lunamon. They got to have their whole things, and I think this was Grace Novamon's like video game debut. I think.
Yeah, I think people were clamoring for him. He wasn't in anything else, I don't think. I know Chaosmon it was, but he was in Redigitize, I believe. Chaosmon.
Yes, he was. Yeah,
and was he also in Hacker's Memory?
Yes, because he had the Valderon form as well. I'm not a huge fan of Chaosmon because I think his design's a little odd. Like seeing poor Banchaleamon just like vomiting a sword.
He looks like a stick bug version of Omnimon. It's just like elongated.
Yeah.
But people have put out some cool arts of him that have different arms that make more sense, I think. Like I saw a Gaiomon arm. The Gaiomon looked fucking sick as an arm.
If you look as well, Chaosmon's original design had him have one Apocalypse hand and one Imperialdramon Dragon mode hand as well.
Oh, that is fucking crazy. I like that beastly ass dragons.
It would be really cool.
Was he in the roster this time, Chaosmon?
Yes, yeah, Chaosmon and Chaosmon Valderon were in this game.
Okay, I just haven't gotten them yet. I was wondering. Because I jog-risked a bunch the other day. I was trying to get Grace Nova. I was trying to get Periuldra, Imperial, all this stuff.
And we got one of my favorites. I love mechanical vehicle Digimon. So Master Blimpmon. I love He's such a big, like he's just a big blimp with a drill. He reminds me so much of like a Skies of Arcadia airship.
Hmm.
Although I remember him having two sets of eyes.
Yeah, he
Which
does. One on the
was
bottom and
interesting.
one on the top.
Yeah. Which is like, are they two different entities, two different voices, or the same? I don't know. There's many questions that will never be answered, but I loved him regardless.
When are we getting a DigitalHazard Blimpmon skin?
Oh,
That'd be funny. Just you appear as a blimp one day.
just floating around.
But yeah, that was really cool. They added them in, and also like in the beginning of the game, like you said, Locomon was shown off in this trailer first.
Yeah, although I don't think we haven't got Grand Locomon. The Grand Locomon is in the game as an evolution, which is one of my favorite Digimon. So I'm really, really happy to have that. Like, it's still crazy to me that in this world of like dinosaurs, gods, like werewolves, and like gun demons, there's still a space for like two trained Digimon. Like, someone at Bandai is making sure there's room for these little train guys, and I love it.
There's actually 3 if you count Trailmons.
Yeah, but I don't think
they're like a whole
Trailmon in the game.
variants. They're whole variants though. Like there's like a lot of different ones.
All from Frontier, I think.
One of my favorite ones was
in terms of-
the German speaking one. Oh, I'm just a Trailman, yeah. The one that talks like that. Oh, can you get me squeaky clean? Wash my windows. Man.
Oh, but then we had. I'm trying to think of other models. We had like Eaglemon, or was it Crossmon? I think his name is in the dub. Crossmon was fantastic.
Oh yeah, the golden
Digimon.
bird gay. He's also in
And
Redigitized though, I think.
Yes, he is. There's so many Digimon. Obviously, I don't know where we draw the line, because like a lot of people, obviously the DS games are like over 10, 12 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and Redigitize didn't come to the West. Neither did Decode. So there's lots of people who just don't know those games exist.
That's true.
Like, the PSP game was translated and released over here, the patch was, and then like the 3DS version was translated by the fans as well, but none of them were legit released over here. So as I said, a lot of people just don't know they exist.
Yeah, that is very true. But yeah, if we're excluding like the Japanese exclusives, yeah, that's true. Like there's a lot bigger
It's
gaps.
nice Yeah, it was nice to talk to people about how, like, when we said Mireille and how long Mireille been in the franchise, because a lot of people met Mireille in Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah.
So a lot of them just didn't realize that her story started like, geez, let me see when Redigitized was released.
Like 2012. Maybe a little bit further up. I don't know.
Yeah, 2012 on PSP.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, and
So-
her backstory is really cool. She starts like, people probably think that she's just like an entity, but she's actually human become Digi.
Yeah, it's fantastic to like really look into how to. So it's why like her physical like changes in Time Stranger were so like jarring. I think because a lot of people were used to how she was, but having like explained that she could change between was really interesting.
Yeah, the time jumps and stuff. But yeah, like I liked her story a lot. How she was like in this science lab doing experiments, and then she just got sucked in, and then she's there forever now.
It's a shame because like it took me so long to see that cutscene because the emulation wasn't great for 3DS, so my PC wouldn't run the intro, so I had to remember like to wait, and immediately as it started I had to like mash start to skip it so I didn't crash.
It was cool because there's like I think there was like 3 or 4 anime styled cutscenes for that game in it that would come every so often, and they were really neat. It made me think like, why didn't they just make this like a little short film or something? Like they had the look of it, like it looked nice, like the anime style. But anyway, I think we're getting into the weeds there for another game. Oh man, but yeah, the Digimon roster was thick. 480 something now.
425, I think.
Nah,
I think it's
It's more than that. It's definitely more than that. I think it was 450 when we
Yeah.
first got it, and then the DLC made it like 480 some.
Yeah. I just remember now we had Enmarmon, the little bony horse. He was really
A
strange.
little bony horse. Yeah, I was wondering if
Like-
he was new or not when he came in, and then I was like, oh, he's
No,
new.
He was new, but like I found his introduction really strange because he was brought in as basically as like a Jogras sort of fusion thing for Craniumon, and I was like, who wanted this? Who asked for a horse for Craniumon to ride? Like, none of the other like Royal Knights have like this thing. Like, why does Craniumon need a horse? Like, what is going on?
It was a weird decision. I was like, okay, cool. He gets a mount now. Why did they do the Titamon treatment for him? Like, that's what I was asking. Like, you know, like Titamon
Yeah, it's
made
like-
sense because it looks cool, honestly. But like the Royal Knights didn't need their own horsemen because like they're not like part of the main story, like fighting Titans versus Olympus 12. They were just there.
Yeah, it was super strange.
But hey, I mean, we got a new Digimon form. It's kind of neat, but despite how weird it was, I don't know. The Zombie Pluto one was also new. That new form for him was. We talked about him earlier a little, but I liked his mechanics where he would make you not like when you would heal, it would hurt you.
Yeah, so I had obviously a lot of people didn't have any idea how that was gonna work, and I had like just going in there. I was lucky that I think when I found out the mechanic halfway through the fight, I wasn't in such a bad position where it would hurt me too much. I was able to pull it back quite quickly without like losing my first fight. But it was still like a surprise.
Mm-hmm. And then also the fuck, we were talking about them earlier too. The Three Musketeers got added together. Like, dude, that was the best fucking thing for me. I was like so happy for that.
Because like there's not a lot of censorship in Digimon. There's very, very little. People will talk about the Systemon Noir situation, which is, I think, regrettable. I don't think see it's a massive issue because I quite like CL. She's grown on me. I wouldn't mind if we got Noir back, but I understand why. Even though I don't think anyone has ever, like anyone in the official capacity, has ever complained about Noir being removed. So when I started to see like Beelstarmon, like Venusmon and Junimon, I was like, oh lord, we've got some like really
Gratuitous.
Yep, that's a phrase. That's a good word.
Venusmon was
like,
extremely
shit, like...
gratuitous out of all of them, I think, though. That was insane.
And I was like, normally I don't mind the Digimon because they don't really hit the mainstream. So like lots of people, unless you are into Digimon, really understand who they are. Like if you looked at Beelstarmon and you didn't know what Digimon was, you wouldn't say, oh yeah, that's that Digimon Beelstarmon. You'd look at her and think she was from like Fate Stay or something, like another anime like related to Digimon. So when I started to see them being released, I was like, oh okay, we're actually going on this. And I had high hopes for Systemon Noir coming back, but as it stands, I don't think she has. And I think I physically saw a petition on Reddit yesterday about bringing her back, and it's just like it's I get it, but like I don't think she ever will.
I think it's just people are wanting it on principle more than wanting to use them in the game. Like I'm sure,
yeah,
it's like they're not even gonna use them. Most people, if they do get put in, they'll probably digivolve into them just to fill in the roster. But you know.
But I know like she's modded in already. But I think there's been lots of mods for this. I've chosen at the moment. I've not modded the game myself at all.
Yeah, same
mainly
here.
because like the game was changing so much, and with the DLC, I was like, I don't want to change anything just yet. When the game is like completed and like we're done with things, then maybe I'll look into it.
Yeah, that'll be
For the
like a
time
good
being.
year and a half from now, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because yeah, by that time there'll be more new mods that have come out that we can mess with from that point on, you know, which is pretty nice. But yeah, I think I was like thinking of more stuff, and I'm like, man, we've gone through a lot already, but so many.
there were lots of Digimon added. There was lots of Digimon who were brought back for the first time and given the big on-screen reveal. Even some Digimon who, like Bearmon, who had been in the game before, but was able to like have a full 3D model and a full rendering and everything, which I think is a big deal for lots of people. Like it sees, for some people, it's sort of like legitimizes the Digimon's existence because it got like a big model, it's got a big thing, like Bandai have invested more in that particular Digimon.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that sentiment. I know a few people that are huge Mon fans that were very disappointed that they got left out, and the principle of the matter really means a lot to them, of just seeing them there included with the DW3 trio, which it's unfortunate, like it's very sad that they had to leave Mon out for whatever reason it was. Like I feel like they had to have had that cross their minds, because they had Hookmon. They had Hookmon like in the like files, right? That they didn't finish.
I can only hope that like Mon comes in with Shambhala and something with like Gokumon.
Yeah, they might be saving Mon for Shambhala stuff. Like that could be another thing. Like they maybe thought it wasn't right. The time wasn't quite right. Like maybe the expansion will bring forth that, because I know that they did that poll and Monbot didn't hit the top 20, but they were saying they weren't going to include the entire list, but also look into what Digimon fit best in the story they're trying to tell, and that made me think a little bit like maybe those other Digimon do have a chance somehow.
Because it'd be quite nice, because we have Kotemon or Koemon. No, sorry, it's Kotemon. Sorry, he sort of exists in Yggdrasil. Or we have Bearmon now existing in Iliad, and then if we can have like Monmon existing in Shambhala, we can have like one in every server. Would be kind of nice.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I was thinking about that myself the other day, about my own personal OCs, like OC Digimon team, because I was thinking, because I have a Black Agumon, he'd be Yggdrasil's, and then I have Gamamon, which I put in Iliad because he's very celestial, and stars have a lot to do with Greek mythology and all this stuff. And I have a feeling they're going to integrate them in the story for Time Stranger's expansion. And
I hope so, yeah.
And then Shambhala, my other, is Kakamon, the little monkey, the other monkey. So I was like, all my mons come from a different server. Like I was thinking in my head. So when the fact that you said that right now about Monmon and the DW3 trio makes me think that's got some weight to it. Yeah.
Be cool to see.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's one of the mons that I think should have made it. But there is a chance for the expansion. And I don't know. What other mons that... Was Ape Mon in the game? Or did they leave out Ape Mon?
I don't think Ape Mon was.
That's crazy. That would be a wild... Like, I don't remember at all. There's just so many mons I was going for.
I'll have a quick list now. So yeah, Kotemon was in here. Floramon, Fanbimon. The Zuba Egamon line were in here. Sneemon made it in.
Sneemon was so fun to see. I was so happy. I was like, yes, my stabby boy's here.
Because it was because like Dino Humon's in here, and Dino Humon he's from fucking World 3. He's Kotemon's evolution, but then like Kyukimon's not here. And Kyukimon, and I don't know if Slash Angemon made it into this game. Actually, thinking about it, did he?
Yeah, he did. But yeah, like Kyuki was interesting not to have. They're really, really cool. Like that would have been nice.
Orochimon's fantastic. I loved seeing Orochimon in the game. His model was wonderful. Big 8-headed snake. Yeah. Because I love him, because like some of the heads are just like, they're off in another world. They're just like daydreaming. His model was fantastic.
Some of them are like
Chimeramon, Lodaleomon, Chromon,
Lotusmon,
the Butamon line. Was Lotusmon in the game?
Yeah, Lotus is in it. You remember Floramon becomes Lotusmon and Hawkmon becomes Hippogriffo?
That was it, yeah, because I was disappointed that Rafflesia wasn't.
Wait, who? Oh, Rafflesia,
yeah. I really wanted Rafflesia to be in the game because I think she's wonderful. I think she would have been a nice like Jogress for Lotusmon and Rosemon in the game. Oh yeah,
that would have been cool. More Jogress, please.
I mean, we did get Rosemon burst mode, I guess. I mean, all the burst modes for like Shine Grey and Raven one, I think.
Yeah, Rave. God, those burst modes are sick. I'm about to burst mode seeing Rosemon burst mode.
Oh, we had Rush. I'm flicking through the cast list now. We had Rush Tyranno. I love Rush Tyranno. He's so cool.
Yeah, he's been in the past games, but he looked really nice in this game. He was just so shiny. I love how shiny the metal is in this.
But disappointing, I don't think we got like Moon. We got Millennium on, but I don't think we got Moon or Zed in the game.
Right? Yeah, that was an interesting leaving those out.
Yeah. Even though we got like Loosemon, like Fallen mode or same mode, or whatever they call them in this game. We got Belfmon Rage mode, we have Gallantmon and Yowzmon Burst mode, Crimson mode. Yeah, it's an interesting one, but maybe, you know, they'll leave some options for the expansion.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some good heavy hitters later. Any last Digimon you want to talk about before we move on?
I suppose no. Nothing that wouldn't like. Obviously, we have another thing. Obviously, we can talk about DLC a bit later on. That's gonna cover a few more characters.
Oh yeah, the DLC characters and all that. All right. Well, the next thing I have on here is we're gonna be talking about the mechanics of the game. So all the systems they had in play for like training, for battling, stat growing, the farm, all that kind of stuff. Personally, I thought they streamlined a lot of nice stuff.
They did. Some of the things for like in terms of mechanics, getting one out of the way entirely as a completely and utterly useless mechanic or useless thing was the card game. Oh
man, dude, I hate the fact that it looked so cool, but it played like terribly. It was just a big flip the coin game.
Yeah, like your strength didn't make any difference. Your characters, your Digimon's level made no change. Nothing was. It was basically just 5 minutes of flipping over cards, and win or lose, no one loses really. It was just such a pointless endeavor.
It looked nice, like the whole aesthetic of it all, and like having your two V pets connect, and like the presentation was great. Like they nailed that shit. But everything else, I was like, man, like after a few games of it, and then the whole like initial feelings washed over, I was like, okay, well, this is boring.
Especially considering like they used it in the promotional material as well. Let's just say, oh, there's a card game in this one as well. It's like cool, and it was just worthless.
And like how all of us were thinking, like, I wonder if it's gonna be as in depth as DW3's. You know, like that would have been nice.
It would have been fantastic, but it just wasn't there. Then we had like the mini games. So throughout like the game, you could get like a free Digimon. Like we had the race, we had the tower defense game, I guess.
Yeah.
What's that? I know there's another one where you had to like get to the end of like a huge like amount of Digimon in the way. You had to fight a set amount, and you got free Digimon. That was a cool little mechanic to help you like boost through the game.
Yeah, I like my favorite one was running in circles, killing the same mons that spawned over and over, time attack or whatever. And that would get like 12,000 XP each time in 2 minutes. But I didn't buy the EXP and room or whatever, the dungeons for that.
Oh,
I didn't buy them. I barely bought them like last week. Because I'm getting to that like mega plus level difficulty, and I need to make this process like faster. Because doing it the old way, man, I could not get enough stats in time. So I was like, fuck it, I gotta buy that now, I guess. But it's pretty good. You get 100k each time you kill a metal Edamon, which is like
I was
fast.
I was gonna save that discussion for the DLC section, but no, I get that entirely.
Oh yeah, that's technically DLC, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those dungeons were kind of neat ideas, but some of them fell flat.
But I think the farm, like the aesthetics for the farm were fantastic. It looked amazing, but the mechanics of the farm were so bad. Like I appreciate having to. Yeah, it was just like it did one thing for me. I never used the farm for like stat gaining early on. I just over leveled. It wasn't until I had to look hard into certain evolutions to use it, or like I had to change someone's personality like really quickly.
Yeah, and you would just spend
But
money
then,
real quick to just get it done right there.
yeah, exactly. See, late game it was a lot easier. You had access to like the equipment that Zudamon would sell.
Yeah.
But it's a common trope from fans. Like you can't look at Digivolution requirements while you're in the farm. You have to like take the Digimon back out of the farm, then go into the menu to look at the requirement to see how far you are off it, then take them back out the thing, put it back into the farm, train them again, remember the numbers, and then check back and forth. It was just really frustrating.
Yeah, that's if you're not using Grindosaur, but yeah, like having like normal people are gonna be just like switching between menus, you know, and that's a cumbersome thing to do. Like it's annoying. Like they could have just let us digivolve in the farm and look at the stats in the farm.
Yeah, or even have like a quick sort of like move to this menu sort of process instead of like having to make us move around all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the like the farm was one of my biggest complaints, I think. But some of the better mechanics were like the personality types were neat, and seeing what they did for the different Digimon and needing different specific ones to jog together. I thought that was cool. Also, loading in Digimon enhancements to each other to like get extra stats was super easy. You didn't have to go into like another room where Mireille was to go and do it. You just did it in your menu, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, being able to digivolve on the fly was loads easier.
Yeah, just go into your menu and then go to the menus, digivolve, skip cutscene, digivolve, skip cutscene, digivolve, skip cutscene, and you just keep doing that. And I'm surprised it never crashed on me doing that, like menuing, because I was going fast at points. And it wouldn't crash.
Yeah, no, it was a strong game in terms of menuing. Although I noted like early on, if I started the game up and I started messing with things too early, it sort of chunked a little bit, but like nothing massive. Um,
The battle mechanics were cool. The like the way you could go 5 times speed or whatever it was. That was a big like what the fuck moment for me. I was like, they gave us emulator tool.
I think like I used the speed up a little later on, but I think it got to a point where I just wanted to skip the animation. I didn't want to speed up the battle per se. I think you had to be like speed up 3, I think, to skip the animations.
No, it was speed up 5. 3 is where you were going fast with the animation still at max speed.
I see.
And then 2, if you had it on ×2, it would desync the audio for the moves. So ×3 was the sweet spot, so you can get the move to go out with the same sound effects without it being lagging behind.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But yeah, that was a really nice quality of life thing they gave us, because man, imagine how the game would have been without it after a while. Like fuck.
I remember because there's quite a few times the game like drops a mini game on you, and some of them are really good, some of them not so good. I didn't enjoy the one on the train where you were fighting. You had to hit the bug Digimon who were flying over you and stuff.
I was one tapping all of them, so I had no problem. I just went.
You see, it wasn't a case that because like I could one tap, that was fine. But it was like if you went too far too quickly, your Digimon would like prioritize hitting the road, and then the Sneemon would go over your Digimon and get you from behind, and you have to reset the whole thing.
Ah, okay, so you had some of that problem.
Yeah, I was running too
Positioning.
fast, essentially.
Gotcha. Yeah, there were some weird things with some of those like on rails things. Like the Metal Greymon on rail runaway was like only 5 seconds. That was quick.
Yeah.
Going through Bacchusmon's like weird like memory where you had to go through different doorways to find him.
Oh, I hate that because it all turns out that what the puzzle was just nothing. It was just invisible floor. That was really frustrating. I was there for like 20 minutes.
And it also depended on what direction you entered the door. If you entered from the left or the right, it would send you somewhere different, and it took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah.
So I was like, we're going through the same door. Why is it giving me different directions? It's like, oh, because you walked in from this direction. It's like, oh my god. One of the other mechanics that I liked a lot was being able to quickly kill Digimon in the field without having to battle. You just killed them and got their shit.
Yeah, that was a massive bonus because, like, that was something I had made plenty of comments about, like, historically. Because the last time I remember seeing a mechanic like that was Blue Dragon on 360,
Oh wow.
where yeah, you could level up a skill from the barrier job, where you could have this overshield over your character, and if you walked over enemies in the overworld that were a certain level lower than you just automatically delete them, and like you get the XP from it. And I said that it was such a benefit for grinding because I could just go to a certain area and just instead of having to battle, just walk around in circles, just rolling over monsters, and just getting the AP I needed to level up my skills. And like I hadn't seen that in any other RPG, like literally ever. Like auto battle was a thing, but you still had to like get in the battle, load into the battle, do the battle, see the XP screen, out to battle, repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing Time Stranger like pull the auto thing where if you were a certain strength over them, you just wipe them out. Wonderful stuff. I really enjoyed that mechanic.
It's funny because Scarlet and Violet did it before, but yeah, well, that one's. I look over that game a lot because it wasn't as fun, but it had that mechanic as well to like quickly kill something in the field and then that's it. But the thing about that was if you opted for that, I think you got a little less XP because you weren't taking the time to fight it, which is a fine enough trade-off, I guess. You know, you're going faster. Yeah, that was a really cool mechanic. Also, I'm surprised it took because this long to talk about this mechanic, but I mean, the fucking writing on Digimon, that was like revolutionary.
The writing on Digimon was fantastic because, like, we had writing on Digimon in DMO. You could mount certain Digimon and they would have like a higher movement speed where you'd be able to avoid like random fights with Digimon. But having them in Time Changer was fun because I enjoyed the amount of like community feedback we got from those, like people making artwork of like the characters being carried by like Starmon or Gankumon or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I loved how silly they were with some of them, because like Grand Locomon, it's just like your character's riding a massive train. It looks pretty silly.
Or
But, like, some of
Mikanori.
them are really inconsistent. Yeah.
Up in the
inside
hedge there.
cockpit, which is like lore accurate. I love that. But some of them are quite like inconsistent because you had some small Digimon who would carry you, and then some big Digimon who wouldn't.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some of those. Like, I remember being able to be carried by Omnimon, and then not being able to be carried by like Gundramon. No, Gundramon you can ride. I forgot. You could ride on his back.
Yeah, you sit like on the back of its head, so it's quite fun.
Right around the big giant metal Godzilla.
Like I really wanted Lilithmon to have a ride mode, but not like not like a filthy one, or not like a thing. I wanted her to like carry the tamer out front like a pair of dirty socks or something. Like she's disgusted, just like this thing away from you, just walking ahead of you.
That's hilarious. Just holding you by the fucking like the nape of your neck, like.
Yeah, that just like a disobedient kitten or something, just like holding you at the end. Like, come on, then let's go.
Yeah, there was a lot of funny ones of her carrying you, and you're just like under her booba, just like, oh, that was funny.
Because there's a load of rideables like Kakumon, Kabuterimon, Grizzlymon, Dobemon. Like a lot of the quadrupedal Digimon were obviously really easy for them to do. Pekmon, you're basically riding a Chocobo. Leomon, where he's like he's thrusting his like he's like gripping his bicep.
Yeah.
You could sell Witchmon's broom with her. Sataramon was easy because you sell.
Old Force was fun. I don't know if you got Old Force to ride with. He goes fast. He just zooms.
Oh, I never got that one.
I think he holds you out like with your one hand while he zooms.
Yeah, there's quite a few who'd like hold you in their hand, which is quite nice.
It was funny seeing whenever you have a big Digimon and they shrink down the size for you. Like that's fun.
Yeah, because whenever you had them, they shrank. But I know there was a mod to like set that back to how it was or something, so you could have like big Digimon carrying around. But I think it messed with the collision sometimes.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that would. Yeah, that makes sense. Big Digimon. Man, I don't know what other mechanics did we have. They changed up that we now have 4 move slots that are separate, and then the two main attacks, right?
Yeah.
It made it more streamlined. I thought having like 12 moves to work with was confusing sometimes in like the older games.
Yeah, I mean, I never really messed with the extra moves. Like, I'd stick with either the signature moves, or maybe I dip into like a healing move or something. It changed with Time Stranger. I did learn a lot of more of the like walk and palm stuff.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one mechanic I really enjoyed, which some video games do, and I'm always a sucker for a skill tree.
Oh, dude, this skill tree was massive, dude. There was 4 of them, right? Or 5.
It was 4. I think it was like 4 ones that reflected like the Digimon's nature, and then one that was like general
Agent rank
skills for the yeah.
Yeah.
And like some of them were incredible because some of them were like decreasing evolution requirements by 20%, or increasing all of a certain characteristics Digimon's stats by a certain amount. Because going into the game, I think I started off having lots of like zealous Digimon, or that sort of like aggressive nature, so I heavily invested in the zealous style first.
Yeah. And it helps you get an edge in that part of you're building your team, and then later you might find something else useful and you start building that tree. You know, I was kind of doing it differently. I did it myself because I am a little OCD about things. So I was like, I'm gonna do 1 each every time. I was just going down the list, 1 each, over and over, until I got to a point where I was like, all right, now I gotta start picking and choosing after it became necessary. But yeah, there's many ways you can go about building that tree. Like you can choose like you said, like you weren't going zealous mainly, so you went to that tree. Someone might go, oh, I want to do mainly like, you know, healing and shenanigans and stuff like that to stall out the enemy, so they go into like the wisdom tree stuff or whatever the hell it is.
It was like a really nice way for the game to like encourage you to do the side quests, because you got more of those points by doing the side quests.
Yeah.
Whereas I think unfortunately some people, because some of the side quests would explode into other side quests, so you would skip over one thinking, oh well, it's only like 10 agent points, where it was, but you wouldn't realize that one quest would open like 5 more, and all of a sudden you're like 60-70 points behind. And some people didn't even unlock, because obviously agent rank was controlled by those points as well, so you have like an overall count that would level up your agent skills, and then like individually you could use those points to like pay for skills. But some people didn't even get like to mega level evolution, which was like locked behind stuff until like end game.
That was me. That's me. I was the guy who forgot to do that 110 agent rank point quest. Oh man, that was crazy. I was like, oh dude, it was the one where you had to help her out with the t-shirt or something, and then it branched out into the, what was it, Zubamon's quest?
Yeah.
What was it, the Lord of Two or whatever? I don't know what it was.
Something like, yeah. Whereas I think because I did them all like, every time I could, I cleaned through every side quest, so I had my megas unlocked right after Zombie Plutomon.
Oh wow, I was ultimate till the very last area where you're like, you gotta go talk to Plutomon, and he's like, I'll help you get to Chronomon.
What? I saw some people like doing the last boss with ultimates because they just didn't accrue enough points. It's crazy.
I think what they could have done is give us a little leeway with like make more of those like higher tier like quests that give you a lot of anomaly points. Make them give you 100 extra. You know, like instead of just the 100 points for this, you get 200, and that'll make up for whatever you might have missed. You know?
Yeah, I think like every Digimon games had a way of like slowing the player down in terms of like how strong they can be at certain points of the game. Like World 1 had the general training and your accessibility to the world. World 2 had the DP system, where like you could only get certain evolutions after a certain amount of Digi evolutions and DNA things.
Yeah.
World 3 was just like the general scope of the world and leveling and access to certain XP. Cybersleep Hacker's Memory had the camaraderie, ABI, and the excuse me, and the party size system. So your character had a certain amount of like gigs of memory to hold certain Digimon.
I'm kind of
So
glad
you
they got
couldn't
rid
just
of
fill your squad.
that.
Yeah, no, but in comparison, Time Stranger's way of make sure the player doesn't just like build a team of megas in the first chapter and just steamroll the game was like stopping what level of Digimon you could carry by putting behind story progress and like your own willingness to do the extra content.
Yeah, I like what they were going for, but I think they made the requirements too strict. You know, because like too many people made it to the end without even hitting Mega, so that tells you that their system was a little strict. And I think it was good, like you were mentioning, like it was like a good way to mitigate some of the shitty things from the other games that were just worse. But in the end, they just didn't give us enough points for certain things. So if they just upped the point rewards, like I mentioned, I think it would go a long way, because then people would be hitting Mega, still late game, but like not too early where it's like, you know, like where you hit Mega, like Zombie Plutomon right after that, because that seems like a good point for your Digimon to ascend.
I think they could have put the evolution unlocks behind story points, so you'd still get the points from side quests, but then you couldn't unlock skills or like levels and stat boosts by the skill tree. I don't know what sphere down.
So,
the skill tree.
So something like where if you were to look at the Mega, the next step where it shows like the silhouettes, it'd say can't get Digivolution until this story quest is complete, or
yeah, until you hit chapter 7 or something. And then like Zombie Plutomon, defeating him would give you like a certain agent skill or like a chip or something your character gains that then unlocks Mega Evolution from that point onwards.
Yeah, I think
and then,
that
like, they
cool.
still leave it. Yeah, and then you can still leave the actual skill tree to do like boosts and buffs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I can
people
see
who
that
still want to
working.
invest time in that would still benefit from the extra time spent.
Well, considering all the things they added into this game and the mechanics they had to work with to like make synergize, I think they did a fantastic job making it work.
They did. No, I think the game was still really fair, and even if you couldn't get certain evolutions or you couldn't do things, the game was still like doable. You could still win the game with what they gave you.
Mm-hmm. And there's plenty of Digivolutions to play with, and they have all these different moves and like attachments. That's another thing we haven't talked about. Attachments, like I messed with those a little bit, but they reminded me like how Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory did it, but you only got 2 slots max instead of like having a potential more slots depending how powerful the Digimon was. Because I remember some Digimon having like 3 slots, 4 slots in Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory.
The equipment was stuff I would forget for like days and days and days, and then like someone would say, I'd be having like a slight issue with the boss, and someone in chat would say, "Oh, have you got like this thing equipped?" I'm like, "Oh, I forgot I could equip things," and then I'd go through and like equip everything with stuff just if I could, and then like have a massive power boost and carry on the game again, and then just forget a little while later.
Yeah, that was kind of how it was happening for me too. Like, there's so many mechanics we had to absorb that forgetting 1 or 2 things was kind of natural. But yeah, whenever it did help, like after being stuck somewhere for too long, you're like, oh, maybe I should see what I got. And then you go look and you're like, oh, this attachment nullifies sleep. This attachment nullifies, you know, it's confusion, or this one stops 1 hit KOs. And I was like, oh, wow, this would have been useful. Like,
I only ever found them like after I had a really rough fight with that exact issue.
yeah. And it's funny because when you put it on, you just steamroll. Afterwards, you're like, ah, god damn it. But yeah, those were really cool. Some of them I like. Some were just like redundant to me. Like there was like attack 1, attack 2, attack 3, and then there was some that would mix attack and speed, some that make attacks and this and that. But the ones I liked were the ones that would nullify things or boost you, or you know what I mean? Like give you a like on your normal attacks, you could have like an electric effect go off, or a fire effect, an ice effect. It reminded me of DW3 that way.
I think the character reversal thing for me was something, a mechanic that like I didn't touch for like pretty much the entire game. I had no interest in making my viruses vaccines and vice versa, and like changing things. I just played the game, and if I hit a boss that I was weak against, I just hit them like more. But then I'd speak to some people and they'd say, "Oh yeah, I kept character reversal so that all my team would be good against this instead." I'm like, I can't be bothered to think that far ahead. I'll just put more attack. I'll just boost my attack and carry on.
You're like me for real with that strategy. I like pure power. You know, fuck shenanigans. Like that's how I am. I hate taking longer than I need to on a fight. If I can help it, I will kill you fast. Right.
As far as I saw it, is I can use a turn to inflict poison on you, or I can use a turn to hit you, and I'd rather just hit you. Like, unless I will say though, on that subject, the toxic thing, the poisoning ability of some Digimon was unreally like strong. Like the Junimon fight for me was won by poison, because the poison did like 1,000 damage, whereas I was doing like 50. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, she was every turn it would just hit you, poof, just all your bar gone, and it was like, oh my god, you couldn't heal either. I think she stopped your healing.
She did.
One of my favorites though, when you have Lilithmon and she does her poison move, and they have that multi-turn ability where they can go 3 times in a row. That shit poisons every turn. So when they attack, they'll hit you and then they'll go ow, hit you again, ow, hit you again, and then they die, and it's funny. Like that, I found that shit fun. Those are the kind of shenanigans I like.
Some fights you would just coast through like the local area and everything would be fine, and then suddenly you'd hit the boss and the boss would just flatten you.
Crushed. All right, before we get in too far into this conversation, we have a few more things we can talk about before we finish in 45 minutes or so.
Yep.
Let's talk about real quick here the UI and the easy use with it. Like, I know we were talking about the mechanics of it, but the way it all like flowed and the menus and like how everything was presented, I think was super readable. A really good upgrade from the past game Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. Like, it was similar but different. It fit the Time Stranger vibe, and all the quick shortcuts to like get to different menus quickly I liked a lot. Yeah, it was really good design.
Yeah, I had the only issue I have with these is every time there is a circular menu, I will 80% of the time go the wrong way first.
Yeah, I can see that. You're just like, oh, let me move up, and it pushes down because it thinks you're swiping down or some shit.
Yep, literally that. Like I would open the menu or I'd go past the item, the icon I need like once or twice before actually like finding what I needed.
Yeah, I can see that being a problem. I don't think I had it too much. I eventually got used to it, but I was using a lot of the quick key shortcuts to like quickly get into one of the menus I wanted, like Digivolution menu right away and stuff like that. Agent skill menu right away.
I kept forgetting about those. Just kept forgetting you could just jump into something easy. Like every now and then, when like you got a new skill, new item, you can jump in quite easily off like the back of a shortcut or something.
Yeah. I think one of the few UI things I didn't care, like it was confusing for me, was trying to find how to look at the model specifically of the Digimon. You had to like go into the encyclopedia, I think, instead of like looking at your party.
There was like a proper model viewer I really wanted, and then when you did get it, the zoom was like still too far away for me to enjoy the model's like design. Yeah,
and then also the fact that they would disappear, like after getting too close, they would just fade out. They knew we wanted to look deeper.
Which is a shame because some of those models were amazing. I'd love to like just check out more details on them on like a proper viewer, like Grand Locomon especially. I really wanted to look at the intricacies of his like steam engine like equipment.
Yeah, you could learn a lot just looking at the models and seeing how they did them. And if you want to make your own 3D model stuff, hell yeah, there you go. You can look at how they did it.
But the UI was fantastic. The game itself was relatively simple. It came to understanding things. Stores were fine. Menuing, buying things was easy. Knowing where things are and talk to people was easy.
Yeah, the map wasn't too filled with bullshit to be like, go this way, that way, this way, that way. You were just kind of like going. Let me think. What other things were there? I mean, the Digifarm UI was clean.
Yeah, it didn't do what I wanted it to, but it was clean in not doing that.
Yeah. Well, you can at least give the Digifarm that. Aesthetic wise, clean. That's all I got for them.
Yeah, I love like the hexagon system. I always love hexagons on those sort of stuff, and the way you could clip things together was really, really nice.
Yeah. This felt super fucking like tactile. All right, next thing, we talked a little bit of our dislikes, likes and dislikes, but one thing I really wanted to mention in the dislikes was too much sewers in the beginning. We were stuck in the sewers for like 3 hours, and the Time Stranger logo pops up out of nowhere like, welcome to Time Stranger, and you're like, what? That's the intro? And then you get into it again and you're back in the sewers of the Digimon world now, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in like I think they're like flood overflow things. But there's massive underground chasms where like just water builds up. We spent a lot of time down there, and it was quite frustrating because like we had just baby Digimon, and fights still took a little while. So yeah, it just felt like we were there just a bit too long.
Yeah, but on the replay, when I was playing on the New Game Plus on Mega, I steamrolled through it so quickly. I was like, well, maybe it wasn't that long in here. It just felt that way because we were doing all the story bits, you know? So if you just go through the game with skipping all the dialogue, skipping all the cutscenes, it's not that long. It takes like 2 hours, 3 hours for both sewer systems if you're just flying through. And then the rest is the digital world. But when you're first playing it, you're going to want to watch the cutscenes. So it takes a long time. It's like, I would say if you have a 6-hour session to play it one day, you're going to be in the sewers almost the whole time.
Man. But apart from the occasional sort of backtracking, and there was that one quest for Marine Angemon, that was awful. Hated that one.
Yeah, that one was annoying because it's like they didn't really fucking like tell you how to do it. They're just like, go get the water. And it's like, there's water everywhere. And then you're like, oh, there's a marker for the water. Let me grab that. And you go and you're like, that's not good enough. Okay, let me go back. Okay. And you just had to get lucky. And apparently one of the spots is the right spot, but you're not going to check that spot because it's so off to the side and random. It's like, ugh. I remember that quest very much and I just hated it.
Yeah, I always thought it was like one of those quests where you have to get it wrong deliberately like 3-4 times in a row, and then the next one would be right. But then I was like 5 in, and eventually I just said, you know what, where is this? I need to find out. And someone told me where it was. Yeah,
like games that do that really piss me off because like give us a chance to, if we've already played it before, get that answer right away. You know?
Yeah.
Because if you're forcing everybody on every playthrough they do of the game to do something like that, it's like everyone's gonna have some sort of like resentment towards that section. But at least they have that special spot you know where to go to now if you ever replay it. So
yeah.
But there's really no reason to either, because on a New Game Plus run, you're gonna have all your agent skills regardless. You're not gonna want to do the side quest unless you want the item rewards. But other than that, like, it doesn't feel that worth it to do it on a New Game Plus run.
No, I can't imagine it would. I'm still yet to do a New Game Plus, but I can't imagine I would want to repeat all those.
Yeah, you're almost nearly at 100% at the end of the game if you've done everything for your agent skills. So on the second run, you're gonna just need like 200, 300 points, and then you can ignore the rest. And you just get those points from the main quest anyway. So, but yeah, that's cool. Like one thing with the replays, like the agent skills points become useless almost. Like you just don't need them.
Wow.
I wonder if that would have been neat if they like gave us a way to like overclock. You know what I mean? To make it Digimon, you know, overclock your agent rank.
Yeah, something like the extra would translate into like in-game currency or like XP or something, or I don't know, like they just have extra skills.
I will say though, as much as the replay and whatnot makes some things kind of useless, at least it's not like Cybersuit Hacker's Memory replaying where it's a lot harder because all the systems are like super cumbersome in comparison. So there's nothing too much to complain about in the grand scheme of it all, you know.
That's fair.
Yeah, there was nothing too much I disliked really. It's just there's a few things, you know.
No, I think overall the game, apart from I think my biggest dislikes were like the offset voices for Digimon, the farm being just a bit janky. Some parts of the story were a little bit sort of drawn out, like the Woodmon, little forest of like fake Woodmon. That was a little frustrating.
Oh yeah.
As you say, the sewers was frustrating. Some areas I think were a little empty, where like it was a massive cityscape, but it looked amazing and huge, but you only had access to like a little bit of a street or something.
Yeah, like the fire and ice areas. They were just like little mazes, really.
Yeah, those bits were quite frustrating.
It reminded me heavily of how they would do Dawn and Dusk, like just maze rooms, you know?
Yeah, and it was, they're just so frustrating. I appreciated like the lack of random battles, and all the battles were like instigated, and you could still wave them if you could kill them with your quick right trigger click. But no, apart from that, there wasn't really anything that really dragged me down. I know a few people had issues with performance because of like frame rates and stuff, but I don't care about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there was no big deal breakers. It was just little things that, you know, just irksome.
Yeah, vast little droplets in the ocean of how good the game was, essentially.
Yeah, I agree on that. But yeah, I guess now we can move on to the DLC, which is all completely out now, and there was 3 waves. We had the first wave, which came out like super quick. We weren't expecting it. It was like December, right?
Yeah.
It was like the quickest I've ever, like we were expecting it to come out like what, March?
We were expecting it to come out like be announced at Digimon Con, ideally, well, realistically.
And then they ended up putting out all the DLCs before Digimon Con even happened, which was a big mind blow.
I guess the downside to that was the DLCs themselves. They weren't like massively deep. I feel like the first one was alternate dimension, which was just like oops, all Omnimon.
Yeah,
I say that we had like 3 Omnimon. It was a Blitzgreymon, Crescarumon, and Parallelmon.
Yeah, it was a lot of Omnimon all around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like I don't hate the designs. It's just like there are other guys, there are other Digimon. It feels like they have to nail Omnimon to everything to make sure people remember it's Digimon.
Hey, they get this one time, all right? This is the one time they can add every Omnimon ever, all right?
I said, yeah.
This is like the only game they're able to do it in, I think.
In terms of the DLC's content for the first wave,
I thought felt pretty like like it was a cool, like when I was in the moment I was like, oh, this is neat, you know, but I didn't expect it to be like only 2 hours. So at the end of it I was like, I don't know, I like the moments we had, I like the digis that were in there, but god, it was short. But I also was annoyed with Nori and Asiamon being back. I was like, get them out of here. Why are they here?
Yeah, it just falls into the whole like timey-wimey, alternate dimension, like multiple things where they can just bring it back to, no, this isn't this character. The whole point of the game doesn't matter because this person's from another dimension.
The one thing I did like about the first DLC, though, other than the digis that were cool, I did like they brought Kyoko back in, and her relationship with their father, which I was like, whoa, we get to actually see that, which I thought was like one of the coolest things.
That was cool, but I can't remember exactly what happened, because obviously we know that version of Kyoko, one of those Kyokos goes on to do the thing, but then we know that from Cyber Sleuth the Hacker's memory that Kyoko isn't Kyoko, it's obviously Alphamon. So I'm like, it's cool seeing this Kyoko, but then what happened to this Kyoko? Those connecting points, I hope maybe in the next game?
Yeah, it really brought more questions than answers, to be like, because she was 17 in that story, so younger, and she's like 25 plus in Cyber Sleuth. Well, at least her facsimile. You know what I mean? Her body. But Yeah, it was just really neat to see. I wish that we like you're saying, just that those threads are not connected right now, and we want to know. Like I'm like all we can do is theorize. Alphamon showed up in the game, and somehow maybe they met. Like and they took on the form of her somehow. Like I want to know why that happened too.
Yeah, but then like where does Kyoko go? What happens to Kyoko that it means he's maybe they could do this with the next game. Maybe they could use the next thing to branch it together. I don't know. Maybe it could be a side quest. Could be.
It was cool that Doromon was in it, and that
He was in the third pack, I think.
oh wait, yeah, he was in the third one. I mixed it up. It would have been cool if they threw him in the first one, but it made more sense for the X antibody part.
Yeah, I think the second pack was the strongest for me. Like, I appreciated having the Banchos in, because it was the first time I think Bancho Lily and Bancho Golemon had been in a game like this sort of level, that having 3D models.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Banchos were such a good inclusion.
And I felt it was better because like it was. I just found them more fun. They have a more fun story. It was a bit lame. They had to still nail in Omnimon Merciful mode in that because like it's like, why is he here?
Just shoehorn him in here.
They don't need to be here. Bro thinks he's on the team.
Yeah. But the only thing that I disliked about the Bancho story was this. It was kind of corny with the Bancho Leomon, like we bump fists as a sign of to every single Bancho. I was like, bro, I know already. It was cool the first time, dude, but damn, you had to say it 4 times. So it just kind of felt like it was just filling in time just to fill in time.
Yeah.
But I did like Bancho Lilymon's voice. She sounded so like gruffy and like that's what Lilithmon should have sounded like.
Yeah, because it's in the Bancho's lore that Lilymon is the most bloodthirsty. She's killed the most. She has the highest body count of the entire Banchos.
That's fucking crazy. I mean, I would like looking at them all. I would imagine like Golemon, but seeing his personality, he's like very reserved and like whatnot. Like talk with your fists in action.
Yeah. Bancho Golemon's a fantastic design. I was really glad to finally see him like have a full-fledged model.
Mm-hmm. I liked seeing, and then they were fighting Yakuza style on the top of the building, like the Yakuza games, dude. I was like, bro, that's just the Dragon of Dojima. Like that's
great.
It just felt like that to me. And then, yeah, the X antibody story with Doromon was nice. I like that.
Yeah,
it had like some cool callbacks. Like I think it was redigitized decode with Kuzahamon and Gaiomon.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It was. I did find the selection of Digimon weird because like Gallantmon, Jessmon, Magnamon, Omnimon, and All Force Digimon X.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gallantmon X, I get. Jessmon X, I get. But like in the grander schemes of like what they were trying to say, like I don't know, because it didn't make sense with what we know of the X antibody story with Digimon Chronicles. Like bringing those guys in and having those particular ones, like choosing who works together, was sort of strange. Because obviously they're all Royal Knights, they're all on the same team. They wouldn't be. Obviously, they still had the conflicts on how they wanted to deal with the X antibody system, because that's a whole other thing. But like it was really strange. It was nice though. We had a few extra Digimon. It's the first time those guys have seen this thing. This sort of release outside of like the MMOs.
Yeah,
and
they looked really neat. Like so much detail in those models. Like looking at Jesmon X, I was like, holy fuck, you don't look like you belong in this game.
It's even worse because he has another form later on where he has Jesmon GX, which is GX, like even spikier.
I have this card actually on my binder.
Oh shit!
And I love it. It's like one of my favorites. But I can't imagine what he looks like in a model. Like just so much spikes.
But it was interesting to see them bring into it. A lot of people didn't know the antibody system. A lot of people hadn't seen it since like. Because it's not talked about a lot in the main games. I think it was literally back in World 4 was the last time most people have seen it. Because obviously, although they were in redigitized these code, obviously they weren't released in the West. So some people just did know there are things, and it didn't help that when we first saw the extendable stuff, like the images we had were like 120 by 120 pixel pictures, and they were awful.
Yeah. I hope they're able
bring them
to. Sorry, I was gonna say I hope that they're able to implement ex ante body in a game for themselves later, because it felt a little strange just throwing them in here, like you were saying. It's like okay. I mean, they wanted an excuse to give us some cool digis, but give us a game about the ex ante body instead, so you can add more.
I think there's definitely enough. They could do the entire Digimon Chronicle story as a game, and they definitely have enough content
in the survive format.
Thing.
In the survive format with 120
yeah.
mons, that would fit, I think.
I would take it, to be honest. I would take the survive format quite easily if it means we get more of it.
I just hope that they may give us a little bit more gaminess with it too, with like the grid-based tactical stuff, because it was like a 70-30 split with novel versus game, I think, for the first one. Give it a 60-40. I think that'd be a little more cool. Anyway, the DLC, I did like the third one the best. I don't know which one you liked the best, but the third one I liked because it was longer. Like I got 3.5 hours out of it. The other ones were 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I think I preferred the second one just because I preferred the character roster. I preferred the Banchos to the X or the Omnis.
Yeah, that's my second favorite one. It's close to being first, but like I said, it was real short. That's what's bringing it down, I think, for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then the reuse of Bancho Leomon's line of we fist bump, blah blah blah. Sign of camaraderie.
Yeah.
Anyway, expansion predictions time. Oh my god, we got so much to predict.
my dream scenario for the expansion is it's on par with how big Hacker's Memory expanded with Cyber Sleuth. I want it to be another like 60 to 80 hour content, which I appreciate is a lot. I want it to look into Shambhala. I want something to happen. We get back into it, and actually, it's like you get called to the office, and Kunlun's like, right, okay, thanks for helping us here. Now we have a problem over here, and we go over, and it's like there's something with, say, like Hadesmon or something has like unopened like Digimon Greek Hell or something. and just something drags us over there. I really want to see more Shambhala content. I know that Digimon Next New Century has had loads of Shambhala models like Centralmon, Kaguyamon, Ryudamon, all added into the game for a big Shambhala thing. So having them over here wouldn't be too far from possible.
I think that's a really cool prediction. I think that would be awesome, but what I'm thinking about right now is that's skipping a bunch of Digimon that have not been included, like in Re-Arise and whatnot. Then if they mainly focus on Shambhala, that would give them less chances to add those types of mons in, since they'll be giving us more of the new stuff. That's the one problem I have with it, because I don't know if they're willing to, like, if they're focusing on Shambhala, they're gonna want to put most of the like new stuff in there to like promote it, which would like make like Loader Leo, not Loader Leo, sorry, what's the big boy, Heavy Leo, and like Lady Angemon, Harrismon, all of them might get shit out of ass because they don't fit the vibe, and that would disappoint a lot of fans, I think, and would make the wait even longer for those guys. But I would like to see Shambhala be teased a little more. That's one compromise I would say I think would be cool, is still continue on with the Iliad story, but have more Shambhala adjacent things going on too that you could work with. So like what I was thinking, this is me because I'm a big Gamamon fan, and he won the poll #1, and that's pretty much in my eyes making him guaranteed for the game. And I'm hoping, since they talked about Proximamon at the Digimon Con, saying he was a concept Digimon basically, and he's in the card game, and that he hasn't had an opportunity to come into the anime, and they brought him up for a reason, I think. And I think Proxima, I hope, would be the crux of the story of what's going on. Something with the cosmos, and Proxima controls celestial stuff, you know. And I think that'd be a really cool like thing to add for Iliad, like a Proxima Sirius Arcturus thing that's like going on in the galaxy.
Yeah, I can definitely see Proximamon being some sort of catalyst for something, because obviously we know now that Jupitermon is now in charge of like space time. So if something a big enough threat appears from somewhere, I wouldn't even mind if they end up writing it in where like Gammamon is now a Shambhala Digimon for some reason. If they can just bring the whole thing in.
Triceratop is now Asian. But yeah, there's a lot it could go off, like shoot off to, but I don't know. From what my understanding of what they were like inferring, like trying to hint at, is like they would go for things that fit into the world of Iliad and their story they're trying to tell. But I don't disagree with we need more Shambhala, because they showed us a few kind of small Shambhala nods in there for like the main story already, like with Susanomon in the Colosseum. Remember, you had to help with them and fight.
We did have a little glimpse with Susanomon, I guess.
Yeah, but like I could see them adding some more quest lines that kind of dabble in that stuff, but also giving us a few Shambalamons to be like, hey, look at this, it's coming up soon, you know, like. But yeah, I think that would be cool, because I want to see the Rearise stuff really badly, because I'm sure a lot of others do as well, and then hopefully I don't know if Liberator will make it, but Seekers, Ghost Game, those all deserve a chance to get thrown in.
Yeah.
But I see chat here saying about X antibody stuff, banning them from this expansion. I agree on that. I do. I don't think we need them. We can put them in a new game. Larry. Yeah, and Taiga. But yeah, I agree with that. We need to keep them in their own separate thing. Hopefully, I want a survive game. I know people don't agree with that, because it's a very polarizing game for people. But I think it'd fit well, because X Antibody has a lot of lore to it. They haven't really explored it in too much depth, and if they give us the chance to explore it in more depth that way, that'd be cool. But that goes into our next thing, next big Digimon game. That was another thing I had written down for the end. I was thinking Digimon Survive 2 with X Antibody. That's what I want, but I doubt it'll happen. But if I'm thinking more realistically, after the expansion comes out, I would like to see Digimon World another entry.
Yeah, I think the next one definitely should be a world game. Taking over from, because what was the last like proper world game? Was it Next Order?
Yeah, that's 2015.
Jeez.
11 years ago, and it's probably going to become 2028, 2029 before we get another one. So
I think like
yeah,
they could quite easily, if they could even make the next world game a Shambhala thing, because there's plenty to explore. They could give us a whole new world to like run around in, and raise the Digimon nice and slowly that way. And maybe the previous expansion for like Time Stranger could use as a connection to hack it to the Cybersmith games, but no, the next one, I think I'd like to see a world game in Shambhala. I think giving us a whole new roster of Digimon, all these new
see like that? Now you're thinking what you're thinking, Cap.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Nice way.
Having the world game in Shambhala makes perfect sense, because it would leave Time Stranger alone in its own Iliad zone, and then you could still bring a new game in relatively soon, and it'll be in that zone. Who knows? Maybe they're already in the process of it, you know?
Yeah, I'm only assuming, because they tend to go story world, but I mean, we had like 2 or 3 examples of that. But I would hope that they could just give us a whole new like world. They could tie it in possibly with like New Century or something. Because I know that's because it's a much bigger game at the moment. I think if not that getting a world release soon, then maybe not.
Yeah, but raising Digimon and Shambhala would be cool, because Digimon still fucking fits. You know, he could still be the main homie that's like, Machine Draymon's in Shambhala. And it's just cool, like just imagining like traditional like Japanese like shrines and temples and like cool mountains, and I don't know, I could just imagine it being so cool, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think they have a lot of potential of having this like really cool, like massively expanding world. It's a whole new world for us to like look at, a whole new thing, like loads of lore. There's a lot of chance for them to have that whole thing. It's just whether or not they're willing to take the risk and not only release like a new Digimon game, but have like a new Digimon game set a whole new world with like next to no like callbacks.
Reference material to like what it is. I mean, that's a risk that I'm sure they're probably willing to take, because from what I've seen, they're including Shambhala stuff already in Time Stranger and in Beat Break and in Liberator, and they have all the VPETs, which is a given, obviously. But since they've already established all that, I think that they're going all in on trying to do something about it. You know, so I think they're more than willing. I just think we're waiting for that moment to come. That's just how it feels.
But their success,
with their actions and what they're saying about their like the success they've had is just like making them realize maybe we could probably speed up some stuff here.
Like that, there's lots of new success, lots of money in the Digimon part at the moment. We've got like there's so much good stuff at the moment with the VPETs, the toys, the anime. The card game, the games.
They even made a full-on website for them too. I forgot about that. I just remembered they made it full fucking interactive website. So that also tells me they're ready. You know, like they wouldn't put out a full-ass interactive website like that, all fancy with all this lore and like, you know, I don't think they would have done that for no reason if they weren't planning on releasing something big having to do with it. Yeah, like. World would be the best next step for us, because like I think even Digimon Up is going to be world inspired, and maybe it'll be like a sort of like teaser precursor in a way to what might come for the world games later, because I don't know, it seems like it's going to act like that, but pixel, you know.
Yeah, no, I think there's loads of potential for just massive amounts of growth storytelling if they use a world title, because it's a great way of like making a smaller world feel bigger when you have to like very slowly grind your Digimon through the process rather than just like quickly level up and run through everything.
Yeah. Another thing I've remembered, Digimon Elysion's probably gonna have a lot of Shambhala stuff too.
Yeah, Elysion, I'm still in two minds about how I feel about Elysion. I know it's going to do something with Liberator and carry that a little bit. I don't know to what extent it'll have with Shambhala. Maybe it'll just like, maybe they will pull the story in towards it and make Liberator into a more Shambhala themed thing.
Liberator 2.
But in terms of, yeah, I'm just concerned about the viability of a gacha focused card game.
Yeah. We'll have
and
to see how
much they'll have behind it.
Because you can look at other examples, like there's a Pokemon trading card app, whatever. Isn't it going to be similar to that kind of?
Yeah, maybe. I'm just concerned because with the card game, obviously the Elysion to be set quite far behind the current meta for card games. So whether it'll just be treated as like a casual sort of like side piece for card game players, I don't know. I just don't think unless you're into the card game, I don't think general Digimon fans who don't play the card game would be as enthusiastic to pick it up if they know you have to play card game to progress through the game. It's not like with Digimon Re-Arise and Lynx, you had the RPG format, so it was really easy for people just to pick up and just run through because you could just auto run it.
Mm-hmm.
But with the card game, it's a bit more of a time investment where you can't just like jump on, do your dailies, jump off. If your dailies involve doing a game, that single game can take up to like 20 minutes, half an hour on your phone.
Yeah, I could see that being like hard for people because not everyone's gonna have 30 minutes to just sit and look at their phone like that.
Yeah, it's a concern I've got about just the general viability of it. Because a lot of phone games, like you'll log in, you'll do your dailies, it'll be all auto, and you'll just leave it running. But with the card game, you just sort of can't do that.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll have some sort of system in place that makes it like easier, like that, where you can just go in real quick. You don't even have to play a game. Just do a tutorial real quick.
It might be about open a pack or something, but then there's the sort of the question on like how they're going to monetize it. Whether or not it'll be like, my initial assumption would be like it'll be £1 or $1 for a pack of cards, be a pack of like 5 or 7 cards or something, based on the gems we saw at the shop and how they were structured.
I'm still wondering when they're gonna give us a release date. I know they told us it's delayed, but like, I hope soon. They're like, all right, here's the date. Just waiting for it and just speculating sucks.
It just causes more discontent, really. The amount of Reddit threads I've seen based on people saying, "Oh, it's not happening," but like, I've played it twice now at 2 different events. So it's going to happen. It's just as and when and what they do with it, especially now with Digimon Up as well, sort of in the wings with whatever that turns into.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious about that game.
Yeah, we've not even seen gameplay yet. Like, we've seen lots of trailers, lots of things about it being pixely, so it could be like a VPET thing. But like, I don't know. I've always been sort of against the idea of having VPETs on my phone because I have VPETs on my VPETs. Don't need them on my phone.
Yeah, I guess it's for people who really don't want to invest into the VPET and just quickly have it on, because their phone can become one now.
Yeah,
I could see for like casual fans. For me, I don't have like traditional VPETs. I have just the one adventure Digivice that has the adventure mode in it. So for me, I would probably have some fun with it. And it also reminds me of like Dragon Rod's game, Digital Tamers 2, but I'm sure his game is so much more like, you know, involved, and a lot more stuff can be achieved, right? It's a free game.
Yeah.
So if people have Digital Tamers 2 as a reference to Up, I think they're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, I think because he's not set by limitations of having to like
monetize,
please investors. Yeah,
he just puts what he wants in whenever. But it's a lot already. Like, I still haven't done everything in the game. Like, I have so much to do in it, but it's fun to go back to every now and again.
I've not even played it yet. I played the first one, and I've seen his tease for World, but I've not even played Digital Tamers 2 yet. I intend to play it very soon.
Didn't you beat a game recently?
Yes, I finished Danganronpa yesterday.
Oh, if you don't have anything else planned for the next game, then maybe that one.
Well, luckily my Sundays are still quite free because there's not a lot happening in the other things I would normally do on Sundays, like the card game and Super Rumble.
Yeah, it's kind of been a slow time lately after all that rapid fire everything like the last several months before this.
Yeah,
I think it's a necessary lull though.
It's the problem with MMOs is it's the balancing of like. It's why I saw someone mention in chat about how Bandai should release their own MMO. I really hope they don't, because the resources that you have to put into like a fully fledged MMO. Like, I'd rather just have like recycled MMOs from someone else to not take that development away, because I just don't think Digimon fans are willing to make it worth Bandai's time to release a full Digimon MMO, especially considering we've had like 4 already, and they're all I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't think Digimon has the strength to uphold a fully fledged Western MMO.
Because it's such an inflated market too. There's so many games that have people's attentions already. And as much as it sucks that we don't have something in an official capacity from Bandai, and we have those secondary options that are a little bit, the free to play. They got that going.
They are very free to play.
And I get that completely. So I would be against a full MMO myself too, because like the development time needed for that and to keep it running, and if not enough people get into it, it's just a dead game. And that wouldn't be fun for anybody. So like the most logical steps for me would be World, or if we get lucky, get a Survive 2. But I'm not sure what else there could be other than the Elysian and Up. Like what other type of, like if we get another Digimon fighting game, that'd be kind of wild. You know, something in this day and age would be kind of insane.
My only hesitation for a fighting game would be that every fighting at the moment seems to be trying to make itself an esport. And I just don't want that competitive level. Like a Digimon fighting game, I always feel should be a little silly.
Like Pokken?
And not... Yeah, like that sort of level of like, it's good, you can have a meta, you can have like skill ceilings and stuff, but then it's not like iframes and checking hitboxes level of like sweat.
Yeah, I like Pokken. It's making a resurgence actually, all over TikTok, and it's just people. Did you guys know there's a Tekken Pokemon game, and they show the Pokemon doing their moves, and then the Tekken counterpart doing the same move.
Shit.
And I was like, that's fucking cool. I didn't realize they actually ported over the moves, but made the Pokemon do them. But if the director of Tekken was still around and Bandai was like, hey yo, you want to make Digiken tournament? I would be like, Des, do it. I would be so excited.
But no, considering we already have like we've got the Digimon HD, the Digimon Rumble HD, and the fan game as well. Which is a side note, I love that we have so many Digimon fan games, and to my knowledge, like nothing's been like shut down. Like everything just lived on, and even with them using, like, I mean, Dragon Rod's game just literally just uses Digimon. Like there's no sort of like, there's no
hiding of the
like,
name properties.
Yeah.
And also
like,
that you're using the music from the games too.
Yeah, it's great to see that they just it's a proper blind eye situation, and I love it.
And another thing we need to see, I know we get a lot of these, but collabs. We got Godzilla recently. I'd like I know you would agree with this one, Zoids and Digimon.
Yeah,
but Zoids like, is very niche right now, right?
I'd wonder sort of what format they'd be on, because like whether it's something collabing with Digimon or Digimon collabing with something else. Like, because Digimon has lots of collabs already, it's just that not a lot of them come to the West.
Right.
Like Digimon has appeared in lots of like Chinese and Japanese like phone games as like characters or as options as summons. Obviously we have the Godzilla crossover, we have the Monster Hunter crossover, we have the Medabots crossover. It's just that they don't get ported to the West because they just don't see it as a strong enough IP for that sort of resource requirement.
Yeah, I don't know what Western thing would work well with the Digimon that would meld well, to be honest, either.
We've had already had a Tekken crossover with Digimon because Lily is from Tekken. She's the character in Redigitize and Decode.
Yeah,
which is really weird.
Man, now that you bring that up, it makes me more mad that we don't get Digiken tournament. Cause fuck, imagine.
I would love to see, if we ever had Digiken, I would love to see the boardroom as they try and decide who to put in the game.
Wargreymon, Omnimon, Metal Garurumon.
You see, I disagree with Omnimon, because if you're making because with the Pokken tournament, most of Pokken characters are like melee fighters. But if you bring in a Digimon, a lot of Digimon have like cannons and swords and stuff. So, like, do we just go full ball and make it a Soul Calibur style game, or do we keep it a Tekken style game?
All right, yeah, because like Soul Calibur got all them weapons.
Yeah, so I'm thinking more of like a character like
Digicaliber. Digisoul Calibur. I mean... Fucking Masuru's gonna be in that one.
So I just wonder how they keep it fair, because you could throw in like a variety of like rookies, megas, ultimates. You could have it like Bloody Raw style, where you have one to the next or something, like how it was in Rumble Arena. I don't know. But then, like, do you keep it the Rumble Arena style where you have like the arena area stuff with more like a Smash feel, or do you keep it as like a proper like one-on-one fist fight? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would prefer like a circular arena one-on-one where you can move around in the arena in circles and jump and like a Tekken basically. Like that's how I like it the most. I like also moving left and right strictly. That's very like super competitive though, so like I could see that being annoying. Because 3D movement makes it less sweaty in my eyes.
I don't know. There's lots. I think for in terms of just making a Digimon fighting game, I think there's a lot of discussion that could be done.
Yeah, it's one of the few like genres of game that I can see it working in, other than the JRPG turn-based, and then also the monster raising. Like fighting would make sense. I can't really think of another one other than, you know, Survive had that visual novel with the grid-based fighting.
I'd still say my heart is set on Digimon Dynasty Warriors.
Oh right, that's another one you mentioned. I forgot about.
Yeah, it's the one that I've put so much, like, you know, I don't know if you've ever had it where you're traveling to somewhere. For me, it's when I'm commuting and my mind is just away with the fairies as I'm thinking I'm designing this game in my head, and Digimon Dynasty Warriors is something I've thought of a lot. My plan was like you'd start a level as like a rookie, like you go and fight like Goblimon or Numamon, that sort of thing, and then you'd build your Musou up. Your first Musou, you'd like you could choose to do an attack or evolve. You could evolve and it'd burn your Musou down. Then as you leveled up, you could maintain an evolution or start the game as an evolution or start a level as an evolution.
It'd be a little bit like World 4
then,
with
like,
attacking multiple enemies in a row, huh?
Yeah. But like on a Dynasty Warriors level scale of like mobs.
Yeah, and they're all flying all over the place when you hit them.
Yeah, and you could unlock like rare weapons. Like you could have, if you have an Agumon equipped with the Victory Sword, he would have like Victory Greymon as his top in evolution. Or you could equip X antibodies. So you'd have like the roster of like rookies, and then you'd use items to change their evolution paths.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fucking awesome. I never played any Dynasty Wars, but I've seen my friend who loves it play it, and I loved watching him play it. But it was super mind-numbing to me at the time. But if it were in a Digimon setting, I would do it because I just love the IP a lot.
I think having it as a focused Digimon world would be my preference. I'd have minimal human interaction to allow more of a dynamic evolution system,
like a purely Digimon like conflict.
Yeah, it'd be very. You could even tie it in to like Digimon Chronicle or something, and tie it into, because as part of the X-Body system, you have to like consume a lot of data to sort of maintain their form.
Mm-hmm.
So you could even tie into something like that. You could tie into the whole the war of the X-Antibody versus Yggdrasil versus the 7 Demon Lords. Could go into all of that.
Yeah. I could see like when you were saying with the needing energy and data or whatever, you killing all the things you're killing or just filling that meter as you play, you know?
Yeah. But no, it worked great for One Piece. It worked great for Gundam. And I think Saint Seiya had one as well.
Zelda, dude. And Zelda.
Yeah, had a Hyrule Warriors, and I just think it works.
Shit, call up Bandai right now. Hit them up. They're like, have you ever thought of Dynasty Warriors? Man, that's cool. I'm like thinking about it in my head and how epic that would be.
I just see Digimon like Emperor Greymon, like Tactimon.
Oh man, Gaiomon.
Yeah, just exactly all these fantastic Digimon who have these fantastic weaponry. Even like Leomon, I would love to just like have a fucking platoon of Goblimon playing Leomon, just run through slash. They'd like, you'd imagine
Fist of the Beast King. Boo! Everything.
Exactly. Yeah, you'd have like XXX triangle where he'd do slash and then Joken and fire off his like Fist of the Beast King.
God damn! Don't get me excited, dude.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
Oh god, that's a grand idea. Like, I'm just imagining it in my head how cool it would be to be a Digimon just fucking laying down tons of Digimon, just slicing and dicing, and oh god, that's so cool. I just never thought it would be fun in another setting. Like if I'm thinking about like playing it as the normal Dynasty Warriors, I didn't care too much about the warriors that were fighting and what they were fighting. I was like, man, this just looks like hack and slash kill things. But Digimon though, everything changes.
Yeah, it'd be fun, I think.
Digimon Racing 2.0, let's go. No, I'm just kidding. That's another random ass one. I don't think they'd ever do that again, to be honest. Never again. I'm surprised they even did it to begin with.
Yeah, racing was a weird one. I imagine it was like in the early days of the IP just being owned by someone just renting out the thing to make different things. Because even as a racing game, it was strange. As a Digimon game, it was strange. It was just weird.
Yeah, it's funny. The guy who helped do the dev on it has followed me on Blue Sky.
Oh shit!
I put a top 10 worst Digimon games as a tier list, and it was number 1. And he's like, "Oh man, the game I made is on the worst list." So it's like, it's totally understandable though. And he told me a little bit about how it went down. I was like, "Oh wow!" So that was just crazy. It gave me a little more respect for the game, knowing that it came from some random guy in fucking Germany or whatever. And he's an indie dev too that makes Volgar the Viking.
Oh shit! Okay.
I forgot I think it's Volgar the Viking, but I've heard of it, and a lot of people like that game because it's super like tough NES style, like difficulty. But anyway, see people in chat going crazy right now. Bandai's too busy shilling Pac-Man and everything it said. Pac Digis now. Let's do it. In Digimon Warriors game, would you be Digimon or human? Digis. Definitely, huh?
You'd be Digimon. I wouldn't even evolve humans in that idea.
What about Digimon Cozy Game? Oh, I was talking about that the other day. I forgot about that. I made a whole short on that. So Pokopia, right? The new Pokemon Cozy Game. I was thinking about what if Digimon World became Digiopia, and they didn't have death anymore. You didn't have any more fighting and grinding for stats. You just did cozy shit with the Digis and let them move in and then make food together and fucking build houses and whatever the fuck. And
honestly, I want a Monochromon shop simulator.
Monochromon shop simulator. Just that. All right. And all you get is fucking Weedmon, Goblymon, and that's it. Just them coming through. That's funny. Nah, but the cozy game idea I think would be sick. But the thing is, you wouldn't be able to play as a tamer because in Pokopia you play as Ditto that pretends to be a human. And I was thinking Wizardmon might be a good replacement because he does magic, he can fly, he can do casting spells, he can whatever he needs to, you know? So that's what I would think would be cool. It's just that card shop game that Trees used to play, but with Monochromon. Dude, just give us the model Monochromon in the like as a mod for that game. Perfect, you got it. Oh man. Any other ideas before we finish up here, Haz? I know we're already past time.
I think my brain space is dedicated to my Warriors idea. I think if I could have that, I'd be happy. But like, yeah.
Nah, I get you, dude. It's like you explaining it to me got me excited. I know it's not real, but I want it to be.
It could be one day, maybe.
One day. We gotta get more famous guys. You gotta help us, all right? So Hazard can get more connects, so he can be like, "Yo, influencing them." Let's do it. Sorry, Ultra. We weren't reading chat very often during the podcast, but we're at the end of it now. But hope everything is well with you. But yeah, it was a good fucking discussion. I had a lot of fun.
We had a good amount of fun. Overall, really enjoyed Time Stranger. Really looking forward to the expansion next year. Yeah, no, I've had a lot of fun today.
Yeah, for me, Digimon Story Time Stranger is my favorite game now from all the Digimon games. Although Digimon World 3 is still like a nostalgic pick that I will always love as like a quick runner-up. But Time Stranger definitely beat all the Digimon games for me. So my overall score of it's like 9.5 out of 10. The 0.5 goes to the little tiny things that I didn't care for, you know, but it's super, super minuscule in the grand scheme of everything. But yeah, I had a blast, dude. Like, we had so much to talk about, we got through it all. I'm surprised it didn't take like 5 hours.
I mean, it just shows how much we enjoyed the game, really. We've got lots of thoughts and feelings and opinions on how they did things.
Hell yeah. But I will say to you guys watching the podcast, thank you for lurking and listening in and participating in chat if you were. This will be on YouTube and it'll be there forever probably. So if you want to watch it again or see something you missed, or hear something you missed rather, you can go check it out over there. And we're probably gonna have episodes towards the end of the month if there's something to talk about. So next month, end of May, you'll probably see us again. Not sure on what we're gonna talk about quite yet. We'll probably discuss that in private, and then we'll let you know in an announcement later what the next episode will be about. There might be some changes here and there to what things look like. This is kind of like our pilot episode. So I had like a basic setup here for like how it was gonna look if you were watching. So things might change in the future for that. Anything you want to say, Hazard?
No, just thanks for the opportunity to come on and waffle Digimon with you. I'm looking forward to the next episodes and however many episodes we can churn and keep this going for as long as possible. Really, I feel there's plenty to talk about with Digimon.
Yeah, dude. If we do a podcast on each game that we've played, it'd easily hit like 15-20 episodes.
Well, there's games, there's toys, there's the anime. We could do retro
card games,
looks on the whole anime series.
Yeah, maybe we could do like 4 topics we really want to talk about. Do a poll, see what the most popular one is. I don't know. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Quick choose you and has got to figure out an outro. Fuck. What, you gotta put that on me now, Brett? I did the intro. All right, Has, start tap dancing. Tippity tap. Tippity tap tip tap tip. You gotta have the little cane as you're moving your little wheels up and down. Oh man, 2,000 episodes. Let's go. Thank you too for the first podcast. Oh yeah, dude, it was fun. I've been itching for a podcast like time again, so I'm glad Hazard was down, and this is going to be a fun endeavor. We're definitely going to have a lot of fun topics to talk about. But yeah, also, I might release the intro to that Biggest Dreamer at some point when I get it more polished. The intro I made for this podcast, so keep a lookout on that for the musics.
That could be the outro.
Oh, I mean, we could do that as the outro too.
For the guys you missed at the start.
All right, well, let me put it on real quick. Let me see if I have it up still. There it is, yeah. All right, let me play this real quick for you guys to listen to. It might be a bit loud, but it's cool. All right, playing now. Outro time! Hey, the outro. There you go. I feel like the outro could be Digitubers out. Digitubers out. Wanna be the biggest streamer. I hope you guys like the song though. It took me a while to get it because it's got a weird time signature, and I was like, I'm gonna do the best I can with it for now, but later I will fix it. Oh shit, music loud. Oof. Okay, there we go. Anyway,
that's fine.
For people who want to find Hazard, if you guys don't already know where to find him, he is on Twitch, YouTube, and Blue Sky and X or Twitter. And I put some of the links in the description for YouTube, so if you want to check out his stuff, definitely go do so. You guys are already here with me, so you know where to find me. But yeah, it was a fun time, dude. Thanks again for joining the the
Yeah,
discussion.
that was great. I love this. This is fantastic.
Alrighty, chat. We'll see you guys when we see you. I'll be gone for a few days, but I'm sure you'll see Hazard tomorrow.
Yes. Yes, I will. Yes, they will.
Alrighty. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Bye.